Welcome, Clobberin times. It is, folks. Welcome, Clobberers. Here we are. At Clobberin times Wild Card Wednesday night. Oh my goodness. I'm here somehow. I don't know how I am. What a day is. I've had an epically brutal day. But the only cure for it is to come here and hang out with my buddies, I guess. I'm no good at sleep anyway, so rest wouldn't do me any good. I don't know how. So here I am, folks. Welcome to Clobberin Times issue number 324 on YouTube. 1024 overall. Wild Card Wednesday night is here. So are some great friends. And let me say some hellos to some great friends who were here already. Thank you all for being here. J-Man says he may not be here now, but he popped in and said he's tired. So anyway, J-Man, whether you're hearing this or not, we'll give you the shout out, brother. Avon lives, bud. Avon lives. JT Kettle there. JT, what's up, buddy? Good to see you there. Comic Relief Crusader, what's up, pal? Hope you're doing well, man. Good to see you. The great Max Redstone. I'm playing speed chess with the clute. Literally glued to your seat. Stand back from your friend's chair, sir. Otherwise, you may share his shock. Fred's outsider. Finished Blake 7 today. All right, buddy. Good. Another. Wow. I think that's 3 converts already and another one on the way. Well, I don't know if he's a convert or not. I hope you enjoyed it at least a little bit, Phantom. You'll have to let me know. D. Bud Martin, buddy, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Oh my goodness! And Max, I got that picture, and I'm going to show it. Don't worry. Hungry boy. Hey! Good to see you, my friend. It is so good to see you all. I've had just a killer day. Eric K, the great one, the Bronze Surfer. What's up, bro? Thanks for being here, buddy. Yeah, I got the pic there. Thank you so much, Max. I love it. Hey, J-Man, you still here, bro? Good to see you. Now that makes so far in the new Blake 7 ranks. Because you have, of course, your old timers like myself and Max. I think Hungry Boy has, if I'm not mistaken, Hungry Boy, you have seen the show as well. If I remember correctly, you correct me if I'm wrong about that, buddy. But now we have Raquel, who's finished it. J-Man, who has finished it. Phantom Cider, now Phantom Outsider has finished it. Mark D with a C is on it. He's still in there somewhere working on it. I mean, that's just fantastic. Well, that's not exactly what happened, Phantom, when it comes to Ava. We won't talk about the ending yet, for those who don't know. So I won't, even though you can do what you want in the chat, although I prefer, and yeah, D-Bud's a fan too. I prefer, oh, good. So you have seen it then. Okay, good. But nevertheless, in case someone pops in who hasn't seen it all yet, I won't do any spoilering. I actually love that ending. I love the Avon's psychological deterioration of that show is one of the most, in that 4th season, is one of the most fascinating and brilliant things I've ever seen on television. Well, Comics Relief Crusader, that's a good one there, because I love the Orville. So good job. But to talk about a piece of shite garbagey show just for a second, we have a little bit of fun. The great Max Redstone has sent this, and this is fantastic. Hope you could all see that. 40 decks of social justice awareness. Out amongst the stars, there are bigots and racists who don't know they're bigots and racists. Their privilege has run rampant throughout the galaxy. One man has managed to take a knee and acknowledge that he should be ashamed. He's old, tired. He's an android, and he needs a diaper. His diaper changed badly. Patrix. P hard. Max Redstone wins the. Oh, hey, Ironcaster, what's up, buddy? Max, you kill me, dude. Oh, Jake, yeah. Max Redstone. Nightmare of Eden is weird. That's with the Nymon, isn't it? But I still like that. I hear you. It's a weird, dumb episode, but I like it. Oh, yeah, Entry Derivative Jill. Our wonderful Jill is reviewing it, yes. Well, I've been sitting through P Hard. Hello there, Trevor Cunningham. Good to see you. I have been sitting through P Hard, shitting through my life. I've watched the first 3 episodes. It is unbelievable garbage. The new RLM review of P Hard season 2 and 3 is another hoot. I agree, Trevor. I watched that last night, and it was far more entertaining than sitting through the episode. But you know what? It's going to be... a lot of people were lulled into this strange, false sense of security that somehow the first couple episodes are better than season 10. I mean, the first 10 episodes of season 1, it feels like 10 seasons. But I don't know. They don't. They're smoking crack, and they're finally seeing this getting worse and worse. Nightmare of Eden. Yeah, Nightmare of Eden. Oh, I was thinking of Horns of Nymon. Yeah, Nightmare of Eden is the Mandrels. You're right. I haven't watched that one in a while. At least you got Tom though. That's in the Lala Ward's first season. Mark D with a C, of course, loves P Hard. Or Petard. The Daily Wire's 3 podcasts and Louder Crowder covered Stacey Abrams starring as president of Earth. There were more knowledge of STD this week than in the last 4 seasons. Good point, JT. Oh dear. Oh dear. Brigadier, I think our past is catching up with us. Or maybe it's our future. Oh dear, we could be playing the game of Rassilon at this very moment. Your tone doesn't inspire much confidence, Doctor. I gather we are not expected to win. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, I don't know. I was thinking of Horns of Nymon. Yeah, Nightmare at Eden was the episode before that. Now you're making me want to watch that episode again, Max. It's been years. As much as I love Tom Baker, there were a couple of clunkers. Image of the Findel, I think, was terrible. He had some clunkeroid episodes, in my opinion. You stop talking bad about my TV show. I make more money than all of you clowns. And I'm saving the universe one slap to my face at a time. Yeah. There are 3 Nymon. Ironcaster, what you up to, duder? Is Nightmare of Eden the one where they went on that? They went on they ended up on someone's ship. I'm trying to think. Damn it, man! It's been a long time since I watched Nightmare of Eden. Wow. Hunger Boy, you like the Fendal one, huh? What about Underworld? I thought that was pretty crappy. But it's still Tom. I'll tell you, a great Tom episode was The Sunmakers. I like that one a lot. Michael Keating was in that one. Doctor Who versus the Taxman. You gotta love that. Stones of Blood. I believe that was a Key to Time episode. Well, you gotta love Mary Tam too. I mean, in that season, I loved Pirate Planet. Yes, Max Sunmakers is terrific, and I love The Pirate Planet by Douglas Adams. And, of course, City of Death. I sometimes just get in that mood to watch City of Death. It's such a watchable episode, even though it's got a lot of filler stuff in it where they're just running around the city. But you could tell they got a chance to go hang out in Paris, and so they did it there. Moons of Madness, Mr. Fibby! Mr. Fibuli. That was a great episode. One of my favorites. I do have a Doctor Who top 25 that I'm going to be reviving soon, and that's in there. Of course, that's in my top. Pirate Planet is not. If it's not my top 10, it's close. If it's not in my top 10, it is close. Yep. Yeah, you like the Hinchcliffe era. I see. You like that? Yeah, I love Brain of Morbius, even though Robert Holmes hated it. He wrote it and hated it. But you like the Hinchcliffe era, I guess, Hungry Boy. Yeah, I mean, I do too. A lot of people like horror at Fang Rock and some of those scary ones. Mr. Fibuli dead. He was a good man. That actor, I've seen that actor in some other stuff. Of course, they all done a lot of the same stuff. Yeah. I've often wondered, as a Doctor Who fan, I've often wondered, Comic Relief Crusader, what the five doctors how they would have had to rewrite the five doctors if Tom Baker had been in it. Yeah. The late Bruce Purchase. Oh, there you go. But anyway, all right. Here's a question. And tomorrow night we're going to talk about this a little bit more with Raquel's here. Raquel and I have gotten into watching UFO, Jerry Anderson's UFO. I had seen a few of them here and there, I think back in the 80s. And always just, you hear about it. Oh, it's good. It's great. You got to watch it. And I didn't distrust anyone who said that. They're like, yeah, I need to watch that one day. And it's one of those things you keep going, I got to watch that one day. Do you have anyone have anything like that? Do any of you have anything like that where you go, yeah, man, that looks. I want to check that out, and you just don't. You don't mean not to. You just don't. I mean, we all have, like, plenty of people never saw Blake 7, but I'm sure they heard about it and they go, yeah, it'd be cool to watch that. And then finally, you're going, wow, it's been 43,000 years and it's been around, and I'm just now going to watch it. This is 50 years for UFO. Ironcaster, I personally love the Basil Rathbone Sherlock Holmes films. I like how the first one kind of takes place in his normal time period. Then almost all the other, if not all of the other, after the first one of the Basil Rathbone Holmes films, take place in what was contemporary times. They moved it into like modern times. Babylon 5, even bought the DVDs and still haven't watched it. Okay, J-Man, fair enough. And same with Firefly. Well, of course, I love Babylon 5. I can't wait till you're able to see it. And I love Firefly. I was one of the original Firefly fandom that fought to get that movie made, and then we got screwed over. Sherlock Part 3. Oh, on Part 3 and on? Okay. So the first couple were period. So anyway, UFO. I know I watched a couple episodes here and there back in the 80s with a buddy of mine. I never really watched any more of them. And I'm not sure what got me and myself or Raquel starting to watch it. But now I'm hooked. And since there are only 26 episodes, I'm trying to slow down. I'm only around episode 11. She's ahead of me. She's absolutely in heaven over it. She loves it. She's head over heels in love with the show. She probably loves it better than she liked Blake 7, and she loved Blake 7. I don't know, but I don't love it anywhere close to my Blake 7 for me personally, but she might. She is madly in love with UFO right now. Ironcaster says, I love Babylon 5, but stopped in the middle of season 5. It falls off. Man, I understand that. I mean, I've watched it all a couple times. I've binged it a couple times, but that's, there are problems there. I hear you, buddy. But UFO, let me tell you something. That show, hey, Just Joe, what's up, bro? J-Man, Joe, yes, yesterday, for those who don't know, as the past couple of days, Texas had some horrible storming. And New Orleans, I'm in Baton Rouge, which is a little bit outside New Orleans. We were all expecting horrible, horrible weather yesterday. We got lucky here. But there's a part of New Orleans, of course, which is not too far from where my daughter lives, actually, that got almost annihilated by one of the worst hurricane storms, tornadoes ever. And you all know tornadoes are unpredictable. And I don't mean Q's tornado either. And And so she got lucky because I mean, there were a couple of deaths, I believe, and it got really, just something doesn't happen here that much. As far we get a lot of hurricanes, we don't get necessarily just tornadoes at this time of year. But wow, got some horrible rain up there, J-Man. Well, man, be careful, buddy. I know how it goes. We were expecting some horrible weather yesterday, and we got spared it, which is rare for us. But just a little bit over there, the tornado just whacked a part of New Orleans. Yeah, tornadoes with sharks in them are really bad. I'll throw you that one there, Phantom. So, but on to geekier things here. Raquel's in love with UFO. We'll probably talk about it tomorrow a little bit. But it is just, I'm engrossed in it now. I really love it. Look, that show, let me tell you something. The Brits, and this is over 50 years old, 51 years old. That show they don't play. It's got some brutal, I'm 11 episodes in. They got some serious, disturbing shite in that show. I think the only thing you could probably laugh about, maybe, because the effects are, at the time, they were ITV, a lot of the same production values as The Prisoner, so it wasn't quite as cheap as the BBC. But the alien ships look like kind of weird looking, like flying saucers. They're kind of dated, but all the shadow hardware, like the interceptors and the subs and the moon bays and the tanks and their land mobiles are all really cool. And Ed Bishop as Straker, man, Straker's I love Straker, man. That guy's so cool. But we'll save that, I guess. I'll table that for tomorrow night because I know Raquel is just so excited about it. I can't wait to talk to her about it. But it's a great show. Yeah, Stingray, Thunderbirds, Argo. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Hungry Boy. I think what I'm going to do after this, I think I might recommend. I wonder if Raquel might like to watch The Invaders. Now, that's a show I haven't watched in a while, but that was a good show. Yeah, Miss Moneypenny was on an episode. So far on UFO, in the 11 episodes I've seen, you've had interceptor pilots played by the guy who was the villain in Beverly Hills Cop 1, Sergeant Benton, Alexis Canner from The Prisoner, a couple others. You've had 7 people. You've had Doctor Who people, some prisoner people too, a lot of prisoner people. J-Man, I'm telling you what, I'm loving Fire. I mean, I love Firefly. I've always loved it, but no, I mean, I'm loving UFO, buddy. I'm engrossed in it. I mean, I'm one of those. Look, Space 1999 was never my big thing. I'm more of a Trek guy, but I liked it. Okay, I certainly don't dislike it. I've watched it. In fact, I'm to the point where since it's been so long, I will probably go back and watch Space 1999 soon and get a lot more out of it, even. Especially the first season. But man, UFO, I'm starting to get bummed out that there are only 26 episodes. But there's a lot less than Firefly. Invader, Alien Nation, I never watched that too much, Ironcaster, but I know a lot of people liked it, and I'll probably check it out soon since I haven't watched it. But Invaders is great. Yeah, I do like Space 1999, don't get me wrong. Oh, and UFOs on Amazon Prime there? Damn you, man. And it's not on Amazon Prime here, but YouTube, right now, YouTube has every episode of UFO. Oh, I've seen Space 1999 Ironcaster. It's just been a while, buddy. But yes, Christopher Lee, Patrick Troughton's on an episode. But yeah, so did anyone here watch The Invaders? The Invaders, not the comic book The Invaders, of course, from the 70s. From the 60s, a show with Roy Thinnis. It was a Quinn Martin production. The Invaders, they tried a silly remake in the 90s with Scott Bakula, but The Invaders is, that's the kind of show, it's very dated in the sense that the plot doesn't work because of the way technology is now. because of the way technology is now, the plot of Invaders doesn't work. But it works great for the 60s. And you have to rework everything. It's just like, because of technology, because we have cell phones and all that kind of stuff. But man, for the 60s, dude, it was creepy as hell. It was a great science fiction show. It was scary. Man, it only lasted a couple of seasons. I love The Invaders, though. And it's been maybe 20, 30 years 30 something years since I watched it. Leave my monsters out here. Roy Thinnis is great on the show. The premise basically is, and again, this is why it can only work in the 60s. An architect, a regular guy, kind of architect, played by Roy Thinnis, is on a long road trip, a business trip. And back then, if you just got tired and you didn't feel like staying in a hotel, you just pulled off to the side of the road for a couple of winks just to get some sleep. And of course, a UFO lands in front of him and he sees it and no one believes him. And wackiness ensues. And he finds out that they're masquerading as humans. But the invaders, the way you can tell one is not a human is that one of their pinkies is crooked. Other than that, they're perfect copies and stuff. And it's a show about this one man trying to convince everyone that we're being invaded. And it works. It's so atmospheric. It's one of the first color shows Quinn Martin did. I think something like that. It was spooky. It was great science fiction from the 60s. And it's just, they tried like some kind of a remake. But I love that show. Let me see. Let's see if we can look at a picture of it. There we go. Wah, 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 wah. Man, when I get out of here, I'm what a long day I've had. I'm gonna go watch me some UFO tonight. I'm about at episode 11. I'm starting to think, oh my God, I want to make it last. J-Man, you had the right idea by making Blake 7 last, but that's at least 52 episodes. Man, 26 pisses me off. Okay, this is The Invaders, folks, starring Roy Thinnis. Yeah, Joe, that's so true. Cell phones, for example, would ruin the movie Commando, where where the guy has to get to a payphone to tell him that Arnold Schwarzenegger's coming after him. I've seen Persuaders, but not for a while, J-Man. But it's a good show. Tony Curtis, Roger Moore, yeah, great stuff. So, yeah, there's some The Invaders. Badass show there. TV was just so much better. Let's just be honest with ourselves. But I think when I get done with UFO, I might go back to Invaders. I'll see what Raquel wants to do. This is kind of fun when we watch these things in more or less in unison. JT, it's funny you mentioned that. I tried to start watching Stargate. I wanted to get into watching something because you always want to have something to watch, especially if there's a lot of it. And I'm going to go back and try Stargate again one of these days. The first few are tough, but I know that you have to stick with it. I'm not feeling it yet, but it's got a huge fan base. Amazing tech indeed. And yeah, it's got a huge fan base. What's up? What's up? By the way, the great Mark D with the C is here, everyone. I don't know if I said hello to him, but what's up, Duder? Good to see you. So it's fun watching these in unison. We're Raquel's way ahead of me though. I got to catch up to her. I'd rather pace myself, though. I will tell you this about one other thing I'll tell you about UFO without telling you any spoilers. So far, 2 of the 11 episodes I've seen are 2 of the most. Again, you just think, you look at it superficial, think it's the guy who did the puppet shows and Jerry Anderson, all this kind of stuff. There were 2 episodes I saw, and I don't think I'm overstressing it. One that broke my heart into pieces, and another one that is still disturbing me right now, to the point where it's giving me the willies when I think about it. In this case, it's just, and none of them have to do with being scary, like spooky aliens or anything. That they have that. It's just things that happened in the episodes that I was liking the show fine. Then I saw this one that, like, oh my God, this is heavy stuff, and yet they can be fun too. And another one, just now that every time I think about this particular episode that I watched the other day, it gives me shivers, and it really makes me uncomfortable the way things went in the story. Let's put it like that. I mean, it shook me to my very core. I was like, this is this is messed up. This is, wow, Jesus Christ. I can't believe they did that. I can't believe this. And again, just the balls on them to do that on a show in 1970 is unreal. Oh, and you got so many. You get so many elements. You get all the toxicness because you got all the really hot girls in the sexy outfits. And by the way, the ladies are well written. They're not the main thing on the show, but they're all very well written, good characters. The ones that get time to breathe. It's all mostly about Straker and then Paul Foster and stuff. Straker's such a great character. Ed Bishop's fantastic. The medical angle? But I mean, something happened in one episode that just, I mean, oh my God, it was one of the most amazing things I've seen in just terms of a moral dilemma that busted me up. And another one that is, every time I think about it, I get the heebie-jeebies. I got to think about it. And again, it's nothing to do with creepy aliens or anything scary. That's what I'm saying. It has, creepy moments and spooky moments, but in this case, it's just something that happened with human beings that I can't believe it. Man. It was one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen. And it's because it's not, being very gross or graphic or being very violent or being very, those things are easy to be shocking with. Those things are easy to be disturbing with when you look at a disturbing image. And this is nothing like that. It's just something that happens in the story toward the end, that I'm going, I'm not comfortable with this. Holy shit. I'll give you a slight example. And this is one we probably are. Most of us have probably seen Deep Space Nine, right? I'm going to go out on a limb. For those who haven't, I'm still going to. Deep Space Nine had an episode that ever since I've seen it, I mean, I still love Cisco. Ever since I've seen, I've watched that episode. Every time I watch it, I become very uncomfortable with Cisco. I love the character, but I'm like, I don't agree with him on this. I'm flat out don't agree with him, and yet maybe I do, and I don't know if I do or not. I'm all over the place, and that's what a good drama, a good show should do that for you. I'm not sure. It was not cookie cutter. Everything Kirk ever did, I was just down with. I mean, they never did anything where I go, you know what, dude? Picard, even, when he was on his normal Next Gen, characters usually always do the right thing. And it's unusual for a lead male, a lead character, a lead character in a science fiction show to do something that you still like them, but you go, I'm not sure I'm on your side on this one, dude. And that was what I'll just leave it without being too specific. What Cisco did to the Maquis, I don't agree with him. And you could probably make a good case why I'm wrong and he's right. I think it makes me uncomfortable every time I watch that episode. It's a good one. I don't agree with what he did. I don't agree with the Federation. I don't agree with the way the Federation handled the Maquis. Screw the Cardassians. I'm on the Maquis side. I got to be honest with you. And that doesn't mean I want to destroy the Federation either, though. It's just that the Federation was wrong about some shit. Nobody's right about everything. And it makes me uncomfortable when I watch the episode, but that's also great. No, not Pale Moonlight, though. The thing is, I love the episode in the Pale Moonlight. It's not that one, Ironcaster. I agree with what he did there. I think Cisco was right about that. It was what he did to the Maquis. Yeah, he just salts the earth, so to speak, so he can do that to multiple planets and no one throws him in jail for war crimes. Yeah, I mean, he was a war criminal in that one. It was the one with Eddington. It's a great story. Yeah, and screw the Cardassians. So that was disturbing, but that's not a criticism of the show. It's good when they can do something interesting like that. That's right. Ensign Rowe does go to help the Maquis. Oh, In the Pale Moonlight's one of the greatest episodes ever. I love it. But I actually agree with what he did to the Romulans. Screw the Romulans deserved it. They're a bunch of. I love what he did to them. Screw them. But yeah, Ironcastle, the one what he did to the Maquis. I'm sorry. I think I'm on the Maquis side when it comes to this Federation and the Cardassians. Screw them. Just me. But this Invaders episode is not exactly the same, but this one I'm telling you about, something Straker makes a decision and does something. I'm like, wow, that is as cold as you can get. I mean, it's it's twice in the show already. He's made two decisions that make me go, wow, this guy does not play around, and it is brutal. But that's great, though, isn't it? Okay, J-Man, good to see you there, bro. Be seeing you, brother. Steve Mitchum, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, bro. But yeah, I'm going to stop talking about UFO right now because Raquel's going to want to talk about it tomorrow night. And there was that, when Cisco gave that speech before that in the episode when he talked about what was wrong with the Federation, he says, what's wrong with the Federation is Earth. On Earth, they've been living in paradise now. They look out the window and they see paradise. They don't understand out here where the Maquis are fighting for their lives that they don't have paradise because they're not on Earth anymore. No problem, Steve, brother. Good to see you, though. That is a very good point. Hungry Boy says UFO was written by people who survived World War II, Clobby, hence the beautiful, harsh nature of the scripts. That's amazing. That is so well said, buddy. Just Joe, you never know, man. Just Joe said to J-Man, hope you and Clobby will do a Highlander 2 stream. Yeah. Well, Mark D with a C has to take care of that because he started it with the Highlander 2 stuff. Dude. Yes. Garrick and Quark comparing the Federation to root beer. Yes. Fun stuff, huh? That was great. I think Mark D with the C should have to watch Highlander 2 again. You guys should do that on Toxic Tuesday, Mark D. Let's tell Nick. Louise X Sparrow, welcome, my lovely dear. Great to see you. Thank you for popping in. I straighten up your mugs. We got a lady in the house. But yes, I would like to. Like I said, we'll talk about UFO more tomorrow because, like I said, Raquel's going to be bursting at the seams to go. She's just going crazy over it now. And I love it. I love her reaction to it. It's amazing. Oh dear, oh dear. And then when enough of us have watched it, we'll do a show about that too. Because there's so much stuff. I mean, there's always new stuff coming on. I just can't watch. I don't like watching new stuff that much. There's some stuff, but I'll tell you what, finding something old like this that I didn't pay as much attention to before, and then discovering a 50-year-old show like that, Cast and Shadows, hello there, hello, good to see you. Going back and discovering it, wishing I'd watched it back then, but then again, maybe not. Maybe I'm glad I waited this long because it's something to be said for the charm of old shows like that. It's just extraordinary. I love it. I love it. So, anyway, what now? You're working on some stuff, Hungry Boy. Well, I want to see it. We want to see more of your art. We'd like to showcase some of your art sometimes if you're so inclined. Max, if you don't mind, I'm going to put your picture back up because I just love it too much. For those who hadn't seen the P Hard picture. God. Let's see. I should read this in Picard's voice, right? And we go, 40 decks of social awareness. No, I'm sorry. Social justice awareness. Let me start that over. Yes. I'm sorry. I've got my lines up there. Let's see. Out amongst the stars, there are bigots and racists who don't know they're bigots and racists. Their privileges run rampant throughout the galaxy. One man has managed to take a knee and acknowledge that he should be ashamed. He's old, tired, oh so tired. He's an android, and he needs a diaper change. His diaper changed badly. Patrick Stewart. P Hard. Yes, watch the thrilling, TV show on CBS All Assets. Oh, they don't call it that anymore. I'm sorry. It's Paramount Plus, yes. Watch Star Trek Picard. Chris Persia, what's up, bro? My show is quite interesting, It's based on an old show I did once called Star Trek. I don't know if you remember it, but I was in a spaceship and I was exploring space. It was really, you probably remember it. I was on it. With this show, of course, is much better because I get slapped around a lot, but I get to have sex with. I don't get to have sex, but it's sort of like I am in a way, if you see what I'm saying. Plus, I get to save the world or the universe from bigots like you all who are listening to us now. Yes, space, the final frontier, and all that, Oh, I don't know. I don't just. And the sad thing is, you can't exaggerate his voice. He talks like that on the show. It's embarrassing. If he wasn't such a jackass, I'd feel sorry for him. Does Patty Stu really need him? I think he does need the money. He probably spent a lot of. Hello there, Jill. Lovely to see you. Jill, I think he does need the money. Probably. I know he made a lot, but these idiots spend too much. Some of them, and he's got divorces and all that crap. Maybe he's not like destitute or anything, but I don't know, man. Some of these guys are pretty stupid with their money. Luis Sparrow, Mark Zicree. I like Mark Scott Discree. I have not seen his review of PR. I need to check that out. Is that a video on a channel or what? I'd like to see that. RLM's been knocking it out of the park. Let me know how we'd be able to see that. Louise, I'd like to see that. Nice. That would be because Red Letter Media. Oh my God, they're finally starting to realize this show's just going to get worse and worse this year. But they always try to find something nice to say. I said, don't bother. We all know Mark D with the C likes it, but he's just easy. He's a pushover. I guess he has a YouTube channel, Mr. Sci-Fi. I tweeted it out earlier. Okay. Sure. Yeah, I would love to. I would like to see that. That's right. Martin Scott Zicree. He's been around a while. He wrote The Twilight Zone Companion, a book I got back in the early 80s. So Mr. Zicree has been around a good while. So that's pretty cool. I will definitely thank you so much for that, Louise. I definitely want to see that. But I'm just letting you all know that Mark D with the C has said that he actually likes Picard. J25. There you go. He thinks it's better than the actual original series and the Next Generation put together. I mean, look, he's entitled to his opinion, of course. JT says, they're having to reach deep to find something good with Picard. However, I think they're spot on with Captain Cigar and Dr. Virtual Signal, Vulture Signal. There's chemistry there, and she's cute. You know what? I agree with him on that, but that girl is so cute. And that, again, yeah, I'm with you. That's the only scenes that are at least tolerable to watch. I hated to agree with him on that because you don't even want to say anything good about this garbage show. And it's not good because they got arrested. They didn't even get a chance to interact that much. But yeah. Slander and lies. STD is the best. Awesome. But like Max says, look, that's okay. Some people like cyanide. No judgment. Yeah. Peace dude needs money, I guess. Who knows? Although you did disgrace you put Enterprise E on there, Max. Oh, it's so damn funny. I just love that. I can look at that all day. Oh, shite. God, that's fantastic. I hope you'll share. I mean, I'll be happy to. I don't know if you want me sharing that online, but I'll be happy to share it and give you the credit, or you can share it because people ought to see that. Gary ought to see that. Yeah, Doomcock ought to see that. Even the scene snippets on RLM are too yucko for me to take. Yeah, I mean, look, I can't blame you, hungry boy. No, I mean, like I say, anyone who chooses to stay away from this garbage is probably just making the best decision. I'm going to sit through it because, again, like I said last week, Doomcock wanted me to go on and talk about the second episode with him, and I didn't have it yet. I couldn't see it. So I had to go dig it up and find it real quick. And so, I wanted to rant about it. In my defense, I did not know enough about PR to what ship was actually in PR. No, it's all right. They've got a new Stargazer now, but before that, they had some really rinky-dink little ship that they were trying to go for like a Firefly vibe with. I forget the name of it, Max. But no, that's fine. That fits perfect. And then they had some other silly ships in the beginning of and then last season, and this season they've had some. But yeah, it doesn't matter. Hollywood is a lot like WWE. We live the past and go back to old stars. Petard needs 80-year-old Patty Stew. WWE needs is getting Stone Cold Steve Austin in his late 50s to come back. Wow. Yeah, the warehouse ship, basically. They were going, Jill, that stupid ship in the first season of P Hard, and now they're back in it now. I forget the name of it. The Cheetos or whatever that shite. I don't. Choritos or it's something stupid. Everything about the show's stupid. Rios' ship, whatever. It looks like dog crap. I mean, it's just it's boring and dull. They were going for the inside sort of a Firefly feel to it, but the outside's just dumb and boring. Louis says, I sat through a lot of Discovery. I won't watch P Hard. Star Trek is my primary fandom, and I won't watch them destroy their characters. Hey, Louise, seriously, fair enough. I don't blame you one bit. Anyone who cannot watch this wreck, look, I can't blame you. In fact, I'm glad that you take a stand like that. If I didn't have to review some of that stuff, some stuff I probably wouldn't watch, or if I didn't just want to know out of curiosity how bad, and quite frankly, some of us are just bitchers. I'm a bitcher. I like bitching about when they mess with my things that I love, I get angry with it and I want to talk about it. But I still say if you have the capability to go, I'm not watching this crap, more power to you, and I admire that, and I envy that. Although I mean, see, I couldn't sit through STD more past like the 5 or like maybe 8 episodes of the first season. I just didn't care after a while, although it was filth. This they take a character from real Trek and put him into fake Trek. And because he was in it reprising his role allegedly, that's why I watched it. I guess I watched it to see him fall on his ass to see how bad it can be. But I don't watch STD. I don't watch Prodigy and Lower Decks. And I hate the Jar Jar Abrams 3 filthy movies more than anybody who ever's lived. Because I hate it. And I don't know if I will sit through any much of Strange New Squirrels. But I may have a short leash on that one too. Because I love Star Trek and seeing it disgraced. You're right. You're absolutely right not to put up with that shit. I hear you. Good on you. Do it from the reviews. I'm with you. Yeah. Well, I don't agree with Steve, my buddy Steve, on that. Views don't equal approval. But if you're going to comment on it and be asked to comment on it, you have to watch it. I mean, if you're not going to be asked to comment on it, like I say, I was doing review things, and I wanted to comment on what happened. It's not approval because I don't approve. I don't pay a dime. And I have not paid a dime to any of the filth. Not since 09. 09, I didn't pay a dime to go see that filthy movie. I've not paid 1 penny. And I don't care who knows it because I've spent a lot of money on real Star Trek. So a view, unless you're like subscribing to one of the services, that's approval, I guess, if you want to call that technically. But I don't do that. I don't subscribe to their service. Sitting through it, all that does is cost me is time, but it informs me on the details. Now, again, I say don't watch it if you don't want to. I need to get the details on this so I can comment on it. And I've reviewed it here and there. But I totally understand not sitting through the crap. That's right, buddy. 40th anniversary Wrath-A-Con. I'm with you there, man. Trevor says, frankly, I stopped after 2 PR episodes. I'll sit back and kick and wait for RL. Yeah, look, and that's what I think most people should do. Watch the RLM reviews because they're hilarious, and at least you can have fun. If we want real bitching, as Steve Mitchell and I talk about Perlin and Coletta and Sean Meter drink. I hear you there, hungry boy. Jar Jar Drek wasn't real Drek. It was popcorn movie interpretation of Lens Flare's, and it was filth too. Jar Jar Drek is why you have what you have now. And don't make me a mistake. P Hard, and I don't care about. I know it's Alex Klutzman. He works for Jar Jar Abrams, folks. It's still all Jar Jar Drek one way or another, which means filth. I mean, either I'm watching it too, but not paying for it. Yeah, and I don't care that they know that I'm not paying for the shit. I spent enough money to those dickheads. Screw them. Steve says, Clobberin, they track the times the shows are watched, so the more views they will keep going on that direction. Now they can't track certain types of though. They can't track torrents and downloads and they can't track let's just say certain ways the thing has been acquired. They can only track their Paramount Plus streaming service. Let's see here. Monkey Jeebus, what's up, dude? We got Discovery 1 through 3 on Netflix, so I watched it. PR and Lower Decks is on Prime. I won't subscribe to Paramount if it ever comes. Yeah, right. But that's true. If it's on a service or something that you're subscribed to, they count views there, and boy, their views are low. Hate watch indeed. I'm proud to say I hate watch that filth. I don't care who knows about it. You know, I don't care that some people whine about us hate watching. You guys do hate watching. Well, you've destroyed something we love, so you're lucky anybody watches it at all. And not many people are watching it. Because how about all those Picard figures that came out from season 1, huh? Oh, sorry, they didn't. They only, I mean, how much merch did they do for P Hard season 1? Does anybody know? Anybody could speculate, maybe? I think they did some kind of P Hard figurine or like a statue, maybe. Or did they do that stupid ship? Do they? I'm just wondering. Do they do toys of any of these characters? I know that there's. I saw a Mego of Michael Burnham the other day. I saw him, but I don't know if they did a P Hard figure. Did they? Is there a Raffi figure out there? Did you guys see the RLM review of episode 2 and 3 of P Hard, where they talked about Raffi? Exactly what I was saying the other night. How she's the worst. How it's the writing so friggin' horrible. No, there was no P Hard merch at all. They made Funko Pops of Mikey Spock. They were discounted and in the stock for a long freaking time. Having seen P Hard crap, haven't seen P Hard. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. Imagine that. Look, look, I love Enterprise, and I don't care who knows it. They didn't do enough Enterprise stuff, but they at least had a toy line. I wish it had been more. Oh, the RLM review of the second 2 episodes is pretty funny, Jill. You got to see that. Good one, Phantom. Hey, it's a Raffi figure. You press the button and it gets, you press the button on the back and she gets really annoying. Yeah, I mean she's just really terrible. Patty Sue stars in the sequel we've been waiting 25 years for, Masterminds 2. Masterminds 2 Electric Boogaloo. Yeah, Patty Stew. Poopy Stew is his name, actually. So, yeah, look. And as for STD, there was really only, a couple of toys? They learned their lesson from that. That's why they didn't do anything for P Hard. Before the coup, the Hallmark in a nearby mall had disco ornaments on the clearance table sitting out in front of the store. Yeah, because nobody bought. Yeah, exactly. No one wants that shit. And yet they still make some Trek stuff. They still make Playmates real Trek stuff. So, am I to understand, Hungry Boy, that you guys don't like Paul Smith? Steve Bitcham, not half as proud as I am of you to say that, buddy. I'm proud to say that you have never seen one moment of Picard. In fact, I'm even prouder than you are, just so you know. Of you, of course. I'm not proud of me. Well, I've always been proud of you, though. You know that. I like Paul Smith in Marvel Fanfare. I've liked some Paul Smith stuff. Yeah, Marvel Fanfare, exactly. With his X-Men and Marvel Fanfare. I liked him on Golden Age. What about that, Hungry Boy? Did you read that? That was a great comic, I thought. You didn't like his X-Men run on the regular series, though, I take it? Yeah, there's a new line. Yeah, exactly. There's a new line of Playmate stuff coming out with 1701. No bloody A, B, C, or D. Exactly. Imagine that. And there's some from Next Generation. There's there's Mikos, there's Playmates. They're still doing toys once in a while of the original, of real Star Trek. And they're barely do anything from the new filth, none from P Hard. Like I said, I saw a Mego, retro Mego of Mikey Spock the other day at Walmart, and let me tell you something, there it will stay. There it will stay like all of them. Nobody's going to buy that garbage. Nobody wants that shit. Only a dumbass. I guess they didn't get the memo. Nobody buys that trash. Yes, Nerdporial, I've heard about that as well. Now I have to throw in with Steve on this one. I never really got into Brayfogle, dude. Maybe it was just me. Because a lot of my friends really love Brayfogle. Golden Age, writing, great art. Nup is X-Men, double nup. Okay, I thought the art was pretty good on Golden Age, but what do I know? Apollome's Minion and Pupper. What you doing, Apollome? Good to see you. I hope you were doing well, my dear, and I hope the pupper is doing well. How is that puppy? Bop, 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 bop. I hope that puppy's doing well. Yeah, there we go. Hey, Pat, what's up, buddy? What's that? I completed the DS9 Playmates run. Wow, you got them all, huh? Well, that's pretty cool. I like it. Let's see. The 1701 is in the Smithsonian. Guaranteed the disco pizza cutter, as I like to call it, will never be there. Yes, Jill, I dare say. Are you the biggest Star Trek P-Hard fan in the galaxy? Then you will love adding the Star Trek P-Hard Standy to your growing Star Trek collection. Did they really do that, or are you just kidding? I hear that Corgi is making a whatever scale Stargazer model. You don't even have to look at it. Good one, Max. Nerdfire Lifeform says, what is your favorite Trek show? Mine is the original series by Leaps and Bounds. After that, it gets a little more fuzzy. Of course, I love the animated series, but I kind of tack that onto it, So I guess after that, I'm one of the weirdos that loves Enterprise, believe it or not. Nerdporial, it's not a very popular decision. For the longest time, Enterprise was my second favorite. But I guess when I finally got more hooked into Deep Space Nine, Deep Space Nine than Enterprise, which I both like a lot. And after that, Next Generation, because I'm, hello, JD Lewis, good to see you, buddy. In the midst now of this running reviewing of Next Generation, what Raquel and I are doing every week, I'm seeing how unbelievably inconsistent that show was in terms of quality. So I would put it behind in terms of quality, just for me personally. And then I know it's an unusual choice. I mean, I know it's not a popular decision. It's, I'm original series with TAS tacked on, DS9 and Enterprise following that, then Next Gen, and then I would have, forgive me, Katie Carr, I love you, but I'd have Voyager at the back. I like Voyager in some things, but, yeah, I mean, TNG does not hold up as well as I thought. That's just me, though. Everyone's different. But I know there are many people, for example, that like DS9 the best. I can't go that far personally, but I do like it a lot now, more than I ever did. And Pat S is a TOS, DS9, TNG, STE, STV kind of guy. I can respect that. And our friend Luis Farrow says, I didn't like Enterprise. If it stays on streaming long enough, I will give it another try. But I'm going through TNG at the moment. We review, as you know, we review TNG here on Saturday nights. Luis, I'm one of those weirdos, Luis, that I fully admit that a lot of people don't like Enterprise that much. Aren't into it that much, but I do love it. I loved it from the beginning. I'm just that weird. Even though I still don't think they should have done a prequel. Multiple things can be true at the same time. I could love the show and still think it should have been made. However, it's not everyone's taste, and I certainly understand that. I don't know how long it's going to be on streaming other than Paramount. It's off of Netflix and all that other stuff. But if you ever get a chance, you might like it. You might not. I don't know. But I really liked it a lot. I liked, again, just even in the first and second season, which had some clunkers, but they had some very interesting episodes about a ship just getting started that I always liked. But, there you go. And I liked it better than Voyager. D-Bud is baiting Clobby. Comic book owners are like that. Oh, what did he say? I didn't see it. What did you say, D-Bud? That's true. The Alternative Factor is my all-time favorite episode, according to D-Bud Martin. Well, who am I to argue, man? He's the man of iron. So if he says it is, it is. Dude, just take his word for it, I say. J.D. Lewis. Louis, a lot of people say DS9 is a favorite. I always preferred Voyager. Okay, well, Louis likes us. Hey, Louis, we have a very dear friend of ours, Katie Carr, who pops in sometimes. She's a sweet, beautiful young lady who's a dear friend of ours. She's the ultimate Voyager fanatic. I mean, she loves it. That's her favorite. She's very respectful and loving of all Star Trek. But she dearly loves Voyager. That's her favorite thing in life. I mean, she's truly devoted to it. Sweet, wonderful young lady. And, so you're certainly not alone in that. Katie loves it. And I warmed up to Voyager. I mean, I went back finally and watched it all a few years ago. And there's some episodes I like, but believe me, it's usually Voyager or Enterprise is at the back for most people, one or the other. But it's the favorite of some, and there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever, because whether you like it or not, it's real Trek. Anything from between 66 through 05 is legitimate Star Trek, and it belongs in the canon, and there are a lot of good episodes of that, in my opinion. J.D. Lewis is a DS9 that Ent were his favorites right after TOS. Can't wait for you, Raquel, to review DS9. We're getting there, buddy. We're getting there. Well, yeah, I love Trip and Yoshi. Trip's a great character, and I love Hoshi, man, yeah. Yep, I actually, 3 and 4, season 3 and 4, I think you're referring to Nerdporial. When you say seasons 3 and 4, I presume you're speaking. Okay, there you go. There's yours. Nerdporial says TOS, then STC. What is STC? Continues? Oh, well, okay. I mean, I like continues. I like the fan films, okay, but I'm just one that, I can watch those and respect the brilliance that goes into the stories and the sets and all that stuff. Well, and I really do admire it very much, but, it's, I can't, it's tough for me to accept even really okay actors in those roles. It's just me, though, but I respect that. DS9 and Ent, and then TNG and Voyager. That's kind of mine. I'm kind of there with you on that one, man. I'd rather have an STD than watch STV. No. Sightly. No. I'm a victim of circumstance. Let's see. J.D. Lewis says, DS9 and It were my favorites right after TOS. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I already said that, dude. I've been a long day. I've been up for a long time. I'm dead. I'm so dead tired. I don't know how I'm even existing right now. So I apologize. Just edges out. Hey, if you keep it up, D-Bud, I'm going to read you my top 25 list of Trek original series episodes, and then see how you like that, Mister. I like TAS as well, says Steve Mitchum. Even though it was limited animation, it was still entertaining and true to the spirit of the original show. Yep. Yeah, Steve, you got to really admire it for them doing that with a cartoon like that back then. It's just really outstanding. Hello there, Oliver Belamonte. Good to see you, buddy. Oliver says, Clobby, have you seen Netflix's sci-fi film, The Atom Project? No, I have not. It's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty good. Even Ryan Reynolds, Jennifer Garner, and Mark Ruffalo are in the film. I heard they were in that. I will consider it. Take a look at it. Thank you. But no, Oliver, I've not seen it yet. I've barely heard anything about it other than you, and I think someone else may have been talking about it. But hey, I'm game. I don't watch a lot of new stuff. I got to tell you, I'm one of those weird old fogies like to sit on this porch and watch me old stuff there. But you never know. Spock's Brain and Space Beat are the first 2 episodes I owned on VHS. Always had a special place in my heart. Well, and boy, what a dichotomy of those two, right? Oh, dear. I'm going to blaspheme right now. Hey, Matthew Pounder, good to see you. Max Redstone, don't give me any crap over this, dude. But I'm going to say there's a character that if she was not in fake Trek, if she was in real Trek, she would be a worse character than Wussy Crusher. And that's Raffi. I'm telling you, she doesn't qualify for real Trek because she's not. She's in the fake garbage, filthy trash. But if she were an actual real Trek, I would hate her more than Wesley. And that's saying something because how do you hate anybody more than Wesley? I know. Just Joe, what'd you say there? I love Clobby and Rachel's review of the Rascals episode in TNG. It's so ridiculous, cheesy, and bad, but entertaining. Yeah, I'm with you there. Rascals is pure fun. Sometimes I just think that show needs to earn their fun better. But yeah, it was fun there. Good to see you there, Matthew Pounder. Nerdpoiler Lifeform says, Star Trek continues is in his head canon. I don't blame you. It's fine, except for that one. The only thing I hate is when Vic was in that motion picture uniform, which I love. I thought that was cool, and he was sitting there with the friggin'. That's why I can't count it, because he put the damned pizza cutter Discovery ship in a model behind him in a scene in Star Trek Star Trek Continues. For me, that invalidates Continues. And I know he was kissing the network's ass, and it didn't do him any good. They still can't. It got screwed over by CBS. So I like Vic and all that stuff. I like Continues, but that's too much for me. And you shouldn't kiss ass. It's not going to do you any good. Kissing these people's asses, screw them. Just me. I was a little aggravated with Nick for that. Stooge Trek, the Nuts Generation. Slightly. I'm the captain of the USS Enterprise. What a prize. Yeah. Get away, you dummy. Oh, all right. Blasphemer. Blasphemer. Not another stupid Mark Hamill post. Was there another one? So we're looking at July, according to Jill, for DS9. Wow. We will do a party for that. Catch up on the chat here. Wesley is better. Wesley is better than anybody on SCD, which is hard. Look, I gotta tell you, it's tough when their character's worse than him, even though it's not real Trek. So yeah, picked up a cool old copy of Logan's Run. Wow, the book is way. Oh, you mean the book? Obviously, the book is way different from the movie. From the awesome. Yes, it is. Boy, I can't. Ever since I've even read the book or watched the movie, which I think I read the book after I saw the movie, way back in the 80s. I read the book in the 80s, I think. If that. Raffi wouldn't get away with the crap she says to Picard if it was real Star Trek. Yeah, exactly. She's borderline committing elder abuse. And she's not only insubordinate, she's stupid. She's overly emotional. The RLM guys made a great point about how she does not act like a Starfleet officer at all. Shimp Festival. Yes. I'm a curly guy myself. No offense to Shimp, but I'm a curly guy. Yes, Nerdpoil. There's a scene in one of the. I don't know if it's the last Star Trek Continues, the one where it's after the 5-year mission, and he's Kirk is sitting in an office. He's in the motion picture uniform, and there's a model of the Discovery sitting behind him on a desk or something. And he did that, I don't know, to curry favor with CBS that didn't do him any favors anyway. No, you're right. Raffi could not exist in Real Trek since they could cure addiction, but they could have cured Wussy. Dr. Crusher wouldn't let Worf use pain sticks. Yeah, so I don't know. Slightly. Yeah. Yeah. I guess it was the one. I mean, I can't remember. I just remember seeing that and just wanting to throw up. I still like Star Trek Continues. I still like Vic, but I just think they shouldn't do that. Man, just I can be reasonable about it, but I don't like it. So I am overreacting just to make a point there, Nerdporeal. I can, I'm not gonna go punch him or anything. I promise. Well, I don't know. I might just go walk up to him and punch him and say, "Not on my ship." Sorry. I love Mira Mira. Well, Festival. Hey, Monica D with a C if you're out there, dude. If you're able to hang. If not, no biggie. But I sent you the link anyway. I think I did. I can't remember now. I might have said it the wrong one. Oh, I did. Okay, I did. Right. Anyway. I can say I quit watching TV midway through TNG. I've just put Pluto TV on my phone, but still not watching much, says Apollome's Minion. Yeah. Oh, I got you. Mark D with the C. Why I oughta. Oh dear. God, that's nails across the chalkboard for me, and Mark D knows what. Every time in that first season when she would call him JL, I'm like, again, like I always say, Picard's the biggest stick in the mud in Starfleet. He's a big stuffed shirt. He wouldn't Riker, he's so formal. There's no way he would put up the JL shit. Makes me want to. It makes me want to become blood pressure. I want to be violent. I want to do violent things to puppies when she does that. I love puppies. You know what I'm saying? I would never hurt a puppy. I'm just saying it makes me that crazy. It aggravates me that much. Every time she said JL, called him JL, I wanted to destroy the entire universe, folks. All of us. Right then and there, I'd have if you just said, if you punch this as hard as you can, this object, and the universe will be destroyed, I would have punched it every time she said it. And I would want the universe to come back so I could punch it again. It was so freaking annoying. She's the worst. I would watch a Wussy Crusher marathon than to have to see that bitch in Real Trek. I hate her. God, she's the worst. Yeah, he got screwed by his colleagues in the anime voice acting industry, and recently, yeah, he did. No, look, yeah, I stand with Vic. Vic got screwed over. I like Vic. I'm just saying that I did wish he hadn't done that, but he didn't. I only met him once briefly for a second. Dave, what's up, man? Good to see you. Or barely didn't even get a chance to talk to him, but I saw him. Nerd Portal says, I'm doing an Orville video when I am approaching it on where the Orville came from, classic Trek, and why it's the true heir apparent to the franchise. Well, I absolutely can't wait for that one. I will look forward to seeing that video, Nerd Portal, and of course, wholeheartedly agree. It feels more like Next Gen, but it's got its roots in both, and I love it. Hello there, Turo. Welcome, Turo, and welcome, Mark C with a D, or whatever your name is.
That you're calling me the Picard lover. Uh-oh.
Yeah, you are a Picard lover. First time watching. Interesting that I don't know how the chat is here, but I'm never watching Picard and will never have not watched STD. Well, hey, look, Turo, More power to you. And you're very lucky, and I admire that. Don't watch. I mean, if you have, you just hey, believe me, I'm never proud of myself when I do, and
You feel like you
but I
need a
will.
shower afterwards?
Yes, but the great Max Wedstone gave this to us, and for anyone who's hadn't been here earlier to see it, let's look at it again, and let's read it. We're going to call on our friend Poopy Stew to read this poster again, if you don't mind. So let's see here, because it just sounds better when he does it, right?
Prep your voice.
All right, 40 decks of social justice awareness. Out amongst the stars, there are bigots and racists who don't know they're bigots and racists. Their privilege has run rampant throughout the galaxy. One man managed to take a knee and acknowledge that he should be ashamed. He's old, so old. He's tired. I'm so tired. He's an android, and he needs his diaper changed badly. Patrick Stewart. P. Hard. Oh dear, oh dear. Yes, watch my new show, P. Hard. Yeah, but no, I won't really be exploding any puppies. Just, well, only, what's her name, Raffi.
God, her character is so bad. I did watch the third episode, but I fell asleep for part of it, so I don't know if I should go back and watch it.
You know what's funny? Remember I was telling you about I was going off about how bad that scene was where she's blaming Picard for what and she's what Q did. Well, I noticed that I'm not the only one. RMB tweeted about it like before I saw it, and he just vague tweeted it. Well, the RLM guy, Red Letter Media guys, went over. They were just as. I mean, they were all over it the same way I was. They were like, "This is friggin' horrible."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
really
she's yelling at him like he's responsible for what Q did. And they also talk
totally
about how
ridiculous.
she could never be in Starfleet.
Well, you know what? I think that's a flaw. Well, one of the many flaws of the new version of attempted Star Trek is they make it more like fan fiction / and there's good fan fiction out there, by the way, but
I'm sure
very casual, almost like everyone's best friends, and they're trying to, I think, make it like Star Trek was in the end, where Kirk, Spock, and McCoy were best buds, but that was earned over all those episodes, and they still never did anything like that in front of the crew, or so. I think they're just trying to overdo it with this casualness, where Starfleet is a military operation. We've got Captain Jellicle coming up, right? He's Mr. No Nonsense on on the reviews this Saturday night.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah. So
Nerdporial, Rich. And here's the thing: they were trying to find something to like in the episode. The Rio storyline is stupid. They at least made fun of it, but they're talking about just his interaction with that really, let's face it, that doctor lady was hot. I liked her. And again, I've always said that Rios could have been a character that I might have liked because I liked the actor, but it's just how he's written this. He's never going to be any good. And that little interaction with them in that clinic for a few minutes, I'm like, okay, it was the least stupid thing in the show, but it still wasn't particularly good. And we know where it's going. While they're in the year 24, they're going to Rios is going to fix immigration.
Yeah. Of course, we don't want to get into politics per se here, but I mean,
no.
They're dropping people off.
Though.
Yeah, they do, but I mean, they're dropping people off around the country. So it's not exactly like it's. Of course, people do get deported, but it's not exactly like our walls are that tight in the USA. And in a couple of years, it's not gonna. That whole scene was totally ridiculous. So it's just plus, why didn't they set it? When they could have done it and gone to Khan's time, or the eugenics wars, or I think that was in the 90s. They said that in the original.
Eugenics wars was originally 93.
90, yeah. So of course they could have just fudged the
far future of 1993.
Yeah, they could have fudged the dates, but why didn't they go, somewhere like that where you've got a true, dictator in charge, of the world, or the world's in chaos? Instead, they go to, 2024 Los Angeles, and that whole scene was just so they're virtue signaling there. But
Yeah,
the
it's
scene
gonna
was
look.
funny though. The
Hey,
scene was funny, like that
it
fish
might
out
get
of water
funnier
stuff.
next week. I'm thinking
Yeah.
it's going to get even funnier now that they're back. Now that they're set. Now that they're there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's going to get freaking funnier. Jill says, "I'm going through the Orville, and so far, every time they mention something scientific, there's some kind of real theory it's based on, like neutron generators, as opposed to uh, STD with Klutzman and Akiva Goldsman who know nothing. They're like kindergartners when it comes to science stuff. They don't
Well,
even bother.
they've got sonar in space though. They
They've
invented
got
that.
so. I can't believe the Okudas. Look, if the Okudas need the money, I get it, but I don't know if they even consult those two anymore. They weren't they
Probably not.
consultants? Because he's an idiot. Michael Okuda's an idiot. Michael
Yeah, but he
Okuda, I used
knows
to
his
like
stuff
him,
though.
but I
Yeah.
thought he knew his stuff. But they apparently don't listen to him. I don't know.
Well, they should because he's a real virtual signaling liberal, right? So
You think? In other words, he's not doing his job if he lets him get away with all the stupid, bad pseudoscience. I'm not saying
Mikey
Trek has
Spock
always
had the
been,
phaser pointed at herself. Yeah,
yeah.
in one of the scenes backwards. Yeah,
Maybe the Akudas really secretly hate it like the rest of us, and they just they let it go on purpose. Every single one of the ICE agents was, of course, they were white. Well, yeah. Oh, it's gonna be. I'm waiting for an orange fellow, if you know what I'm saying. I can't wait to see that.
Well, they had Stacey Abrams on STD for the finale.
Well, of course.
So and people say, well, Star Trek's always been political. It has always been political in a way, but not in your face like that too. I guess especially now we're watching some of the episode years out, but they would never have a politician on Star Trek in the '60s. I mean, could you imagine? Doing that, and she's a controversial politician. We agree with her or disagree with her, she's still the polarizing figure. It's not like when they had Stephen Hawking on as a tribute to him. And next, was it what was it? Was he on Next Gen or was he on? I'm trying to remember.
Stephen Hawking. He was on
Stephen
Next Gen.
Next Gen, right? Yeah.
Next Gen. Yeah.
Yeah, checking the decrepit memory banks, but but something like that's a true honor. And not controversial, but you know what they're trying to do by having Stacey Abrams, the president of the Earth, and if you like her, you're cheering for her, you think that's awesome. But if you're on the other side, then you're it's driving you crazy. So, but it's a polarizing choice.
Just don't do shit like that.
Yeah, like Max is saying, it's social. Yeah, it's like it's an allegory, or it's you can look at both sides of the story, but it's not so much in your face, but they do touch on social issues. There's no doubt about that. But it's when it's so like the new Doctor Who episode, the third New Who with Jodie.
Rosa.
Was it Rosa? And
Rosa
then,
was one of the worst pieces of trash. Yeah. That was like it's like a running gunfight between Chris Chibnall and Alex Klutzman, who could ruin a show worse and make it more horribly political. Out of the two of them, they were like, hey, guess what I got? Hey, I'm going to go back in time and fight Trump. What about you? I'm going back in time to meet Rosa Parks. What do you think of that, buddy? Wow. I'll get you. We'll see. I'll see your Rosa Parks. And it's like, shut up. Both of you suck.
And what was the arachnids? Arachnids in
the UK.
UK, and that was such an obvious Trump character.
Yeah, but they had to take and eat it too. He mentioned Trump.
And they actually made the guy look good in the episode. He ended up coming across. If you watch the episode,
still pretty bad though.
But I mean, in some ways, in the end, he ended up being a redeemable character by accident. I think just because the writing was so bad, they screwed up.
But you're right, Turo. The politics or the message. So the Akudas just joined PR, did they? Oh well. Let's see.
Android PR still play.
Michael Okuda is the reason I had the Star Trek Encyclopedia in the '90s. I read the hell out of it. Yeah, and look, that's why. And yet he goes on Twitter now and makes a complete ass of himself. If he wants to be a sellout, that's fine. But don't pretend this is Star Trek, Okuda. Don't, because you're just lying to yourself. And I love the Star Trek chronology. I love that book too. Their Point of Life. I love both of those books. I picked up the encyclopedia.
They're great books. They're great. Yeah, awesome stuff.
How does solar and space work? Well, there's water there too. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a special medium that transmits sound. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that when these people are on Twitter, I mean, maybe thank God we didn't have Twitter 30 years ago. I don't know. Maybe there's more Hollywood people I wouldn't have liked, but they're just everything is just so political, and it's like I want to see Okuda talk about Star Trek and tech and things like that on his Twitter feed. I don't want to hear about politics all the time, and it just don't. It just kind of ruins your enjoyment, I think, too. Picard, watching TNG, it's you know takes something away from it. Just watching the episode, the chain of command, and brilliant acting performance, but then
Rod Thunderheart. Hey, buddy. Good.
Right in the back of your mind, this is kind of mean to say, but there are 5. I hope he sees 5 lights. I mean, they're torturing him, but it's just.
I would have said, yeah, there are 5 lights. What do I get? A cookie?
But but it's just, it takes you out of the show, unfortunately, when all these actors are so political and putting forth their point of view all the time too. It's not like once in a while or a big issue. Of course, everyone's not posting they stand with Ukraine or something like that, but it's just everything is political.
Trevor Cunningham, that's exactly right. The RLM is right. The show is written by toddlers. I mean, it really is. It's written for toddlers. I mean, they made a great point when they were talking about how that stupid crap, the outrageous Arcuda. There you go. That stupid crap with the way Raffi was talking about. And they were talking about how it was just basically, it was phony drama, and she was totally irrational. No Starfleet officer. They showed some clips when they were talking about her overreaction to Legolas being killed, which she never even knew him. She hardly even knew him.
Yeah, that made no sense. Why was she so?
The way she went nuts.
Why was she so upset and no one else was upset? I mean, did she have
dead.
an affair with the guy?
You have no idea how upset. Yeah, exactly. Well, they showed some clips like from TNG where the whole other Galaxy class starship that had Picard's friend on it was destroyed. Right?
Yeah,
before their eyes.
Sister ship.
And they're all
Yamamoto. Was it the Yamamoto?
And they show Wussy Crusher asking Picard, and all those people died. But he's asking, how do you cope with it? He goes, because we're trained to. And Picard gives him a speech, we have we can't. And basically, just they all handle it. They didn't cry and whine about it. It was thousands of people. He said, because we're trained to do. Basically, gives them a speech about it, and exactly. He said, and you will too. If you go to Starfleet. In other words, Starfleet trains us to deal with this kind of crap. You idiot. Well, Raffi could never have been. There's no way I can believe that idiotic bitch could ever have spent one day in Starfleet Academy.
Yeah, that whole thing didn't make sense when I was watching. I'm like, what? She didn't care that much about the Legolas. It was Picard that brought him off Romulus, right?
It's just phony shit.
He was the one that was. I mean, you think Picard would be more upset?
Stupid.
It made no sense. I mean, even if the reaction was over the top, he was a horribly written character. I mean, nothing against the actor, but that whole
she's so bad.
Arc
Okuda exactly, Jill. I had to stop following him. All he does is post about politics. He's very partisan. He's nasty. It seemed like this. You see all these interviews with Okuda over the years, the Okudas, and they seem like nice people and nice guys.
Yeah.
But they're such nasty pieces of work. And they're disingenuous. He kept showing all these smarmy examples. When people were complaining about Stacey Abrams, he put all these examples of when people talked about, putting somebody, I guess.
You mentioned Lincoln.
No. He said he showed a bunch of examples of other guest stars who popped on the show. He said no one said anything about guest shots on the show. They're talking about political insert. But he just said he equated it with just putting any guest star on the show.
Oh, like when John Tesh was a Klingon,
right? They're all
Seth
showing this stuff,
was on,
and it's so smart. I mean, so Michael Okuda, no one knows more about Star Trek history than you probably, and all the stuff that went on the show. Nobody would challenge you on any of that stuff. Maybe not even Robert Meyer Burnett, who knows incredible, but you know nothing about the real world. All you know about is Star Trek. You and your wife don't live in the real reality. And you need to you have the right to comment on anything you want. It's your Twitter, but you look like a goddamn moron when you go on Twitter. You really do. And not that he watches this or would care, But you're just a friggin' fool. You really are, and it's a shame because I was a big fan of his.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. You know, you want to see his take on Star Trek. I mean, and maybe once in a while, right, you get an occasional political statement, but it's always nasty and then snarky, and I'm smarter than you kind of statement, and it's I still follow him. I guess he hasn't banned me yet, but and I really don't. I don't get into politics on Twitter and Facebook and social media because I think it's a waste of. It's a waste of time most of the time. Or you, God bless you if you do. But I was getting used to argue all the time with people, and it would just drain me too much. But
I don't argue with them anymore.
Yeah, but it's just and that's his bread and butter is Star Trek too. That's what people come to you. It's to learn about and to enjoy all the because no doubt they did great work and some really cool stuff. So. That's what you'd like to hear insights on that. So it's all these I don't want to ask Meryl Streep about Alar and apples. I want to know about her acting.
Yeah, and Norporeal. Look, dude, I wouldn't care if they were one-sided, if they were fair. Also, in other words, if they were I'll give you an example. We talked about the Orville a little. Here's a pretty good example. About a year or two ago, Scott Grimes, who plays the character, he plays the helmsman on the Orville, and I'm why am I forgetting his name on the show? I love the guy.
Yeah,
he's my favorite character. What's his name on the show? Damn, it's been so long since I watched the Orville.
Yeah, it's been so long.
It's been a while because I've been waiting for that damn third season. And I wanted to binge the first two again when that's coming out. We're never getting it. It seems.
Got pushed back again.
Yeah. Scott Grimes' character on the Orville.
Jill will let us know in 2 seconds.
Yeah, tell us, Jill. Gordon, thank you, Gordon Malek.
Gordon, yep.
Okay, Scott Grimes. I go on Twitter. He was asking a couple years back. He was asking fans. They were talking about the Orange Man, and he wasn't being mean. Obviously, we know where he leans politically. I guess he hangs out with. Look, Seth MacFarlane. I'll get on him in a minute. Grimes got on. He was asking people. Really, honestly, he wanted to know if you voted for him, I'm not trying to start anything. I really would like to know why. I want to understand why. He was asking he wanted to understand why people would vote that way. And he meant it, and he wasn't calling people names. He wasn't being a prick. And I, on a couple of other people, responded to him in a very friendly fashion. And I told him a few things, and he wrote back to me, "Screw you, you piece of crap." No, he didn't do that. He wrote back to me, saying, "Well, no, that's thought out. I really understand that, and you know what? I really do appreciate that, and I mean it, man. Keep in touch and be well. Thank you for that." And I was like, "Wow,
that's pretty awesome."
He was like, "I really do." He said, "I really do understand where you're coming from. I really do appreciate that, and be well. I mean that, and then stay in contact." And once in a while, he would say something about whether it was not really politics, other stuff, and I would always write something on there, and he would give me a friendly response.
Wow.
And I'm going to say something good about Seth MacFarlane, too. Seth MacFarlane, I'm going to say good. I'm going to say bad and good about him. Bad, his takes politically are some of the most asinine and stupid things I've ever seen. And yet, that's all. You know why I don't mind that too much? Even though I don't follow him? Because Seth MacFarlane was good friends with one of the guys as far on the other side as you can get, Rush Limbaugh. And Seth MacFarlane can give his opinion and still not hate you for having the other opinion.
Yep.
In other words, Seth MacFarlane, you could disagree with him. You could say he's full of shit. And Seth MacFarlane doesn't like the Orange Man, and he'll say stupid shit about him. But he doesn't try to cancel you if you voted another way. As far as I've seen, unless he's changed on that. So Seth MacFarlane is a hardcore lefty who is more of a classical liberal. He believes what he says, but I've never seen him try to tell. I mean, he might say stupid shit about people on the other side of Rush Limbaugh did voices for him. He might say some stupid shit about the other side, but he doesn't try to cancel the other side. And Scott Grimes seemed to be a lot more like that too, and he's a little more laid back. He doesn't really get super political, but he was interested in knowing. Yes, Matthew Pounder, some of the Kirby Facebook groups are a bunch of jackasses. Let me tell you something. I talked to Jack Kirby in 1990 a little bit. We got a little political. I was a dumbass 26-year-old who was very staunch in my political views to the right. And Jack Kirby, hello, Zax. You Hulk Villain, good to see you. Jack Kirby was a well-known, lifelong liberal Democrat, but the old school kind of liberal Democrat. Hated Nixon. Wasn't a big fan of the Republican Party or anything like that. And yet he was never the kind to try to cancel anybody. He wouldn't have been for cancel culture. He was friends with people with different views. I have to know that because some of the people that were friends of his were not of the same views, and he wasn't hateful to people with different views. In fact, he made a joke. He made this joke back at me. There was and he smiled, and he put his hand on my shoulder, and we talked, and we spent a lot more time after that. In other words, he wasn't like a modern day lefty, and he's the god of comics. So he was an example.
Well, yeah, so you want to have people be tolerant. I mean, it's just, of course, their point of view is that the other point of view can't be tolerated and you can't have a discussion with. So that's encouraging to hear that, Grimes wanted to have, you need more people like that to try to say, hey, how do you feel, or why do you feel that way, or have a discussion instead of, calling names and, saying you should be, kicked out of the country basically, or,
right.
Your opinion's not valid, and then that's the way where actually maybe sometimes you can convince people or let people know. I mean, just look, gay rights in this country, how far, things have come, and, and I think just knowing people or talking to people can go a lot further in terms of convincing people and saying, hey, maybe you're thinking the wrong way. And that doesn't have to be that, gay rights could be, so anything in life, right? It's if you have a rational discussion with someone, or sometimes we all we think you're always right, and then but if someone approaches you and says, hey, Mark, don't you think this way might be better? It doesn't have to be something political, and you're kind of stubborn, and then but if the person says, oh, you're an asshole, my way is the best, then you're going to tell the person, screw off, I'm not going to listen to you.
But and what he said about Seth here, I just wanted to finish up on Seth here for a second, because I think it's important. He says Seth doesn't treat fans like crap. I agree with that, Nerd Poil. And here's the thing: is I've seen his stupid political tweets, and I think they're dumb as it makes him dumb. They're really stupid shite, he says. But there's the thing: he doesn't treat you like a piece of crap if you disagree. And that's all I ever care about. You can say something. Yeah. I mean, in other words, that's what means the most to me about Seth MacFarlane. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe he's really nasty at home, and I don't know. But what I've seen about him, he doesn't. I think he's respectful to the other side. Like I said, the Scott Grimes things impressed me, and that's all I ask. We don't have to agree on anything. I've always thought I was a very right wing conservative until the past couple of years, the past 10 years or so. I've realized that I'm a classical liberal who is conservative in the sense I want to conserve classical liberalism. So I'm all over the place. And yet I guess I'm considered a conservative in the traditional sense, but I don't want to cancel anyone. And just because I think McFarlane's tweets are stupid politically, it's like I love Robert Meyer Burnett. When he tweets something political, I want to go, oh God, Jesus, you need to. Now again, by the way,
the same thing. Yeah.
By the way, I'm not his pappy. He could tweet. I'm not saying they should listen to me on whatever I'm not saying they should do what I tell them to do when it comes to tweet. I'm just saying I see their tweets and I go, oh God, dude, really? But hey, they probably would say the same. That if they cared about my opinions, they would probably say, well, you're the one that's full of shit. So what do I know? But as long as you treat people with decency and respect, I don't care what political opinions they put out there. It's just that this next gen people have been putting some nasty stuff out there. And Nerd Poriel says, I haven't spent this long on the chat in a long time. Very entertaining stream, Cloudy Mark. I want you for my Trek Poriel stream in the future. I would be honored, sir. I would be honored, man. I'd love to hang out with you.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
No, it's just
R&B's all people turn on them. That's true.
It just gets, I guess I used to be when I was younger. I guess too, maybe a little bit
Hey,
like
Mr.
you,
Angel. Sorry.
political junkie, and still love politics, and grew up. I used to watch Sunday, network shows before football. That was my thing. Like
Oh
this
yeah.
week, it was. I loved William F. Buckley growing up, and Firing Line and all those shows. And I used to be more of a firebrand, and maybe got people pissed off more. But in the end, it's like you're not really going to convince anyone or have a it's more fun to have a discussion. I love having discussions with people that you
Yeah.
disagree with, but then you can have a civil discussion with. But like other
Oh
people,
yeah.
they start yelling at you, and it's like, well, what's the point?
I grew up in a time, folks, and I'm old, I admit it. I grew up in the era of even before guys like Rush or whatever in the '70s with William F. Buckley and the with Firing Line and then the McLaughlin Group and
Yep.
Crossfire, where people who did not agree, conservatives, liberals, Democrats, independents, Republicans, whatever they were, and they would be fiery. Hell, they would bust each other's asses. They would have long term and sometimes very brutal, frank discussions, but they weren't trying to destroy each other's lives when it was all said and done. They walked away. Some of them were the closest of friends, not all of them, but a lot of them, even though they were on completely different sides of the aisle, you had that was something called discourse, and it was something that was healthy. I grew up. It was healthy for us to see that on television, to see that people with differences uh, the New Pro Life, William F. Buckley. I'm not sure who he is, but tonight on the Firing Line, I'm sorry, I can't do a good. I can't do a good William F. Buckley. I'm
You got to
trying.
throw in some
I'll
really
work
big
on that
words that
one.
none of us
Yes,
understand if you're doing Buckley too, right? Yeah.
but Buckley, I'm sure you're
Get your
kidding about that
dictionary out.
nerdtorial. But William F. Buckley's the godfather of quote conservatism, and yet here's the funny thing: he was an ultra conservative,
Oh yeah.
and yet everybody did he. How boring would it have been if he only had other conservatives on his show? Buckley had, brought every far lefty, every moderate lefty. He brought him up. There's an episode where he interviewed Robert Vaughn, the man from Uncle, about the Vietnam War. I watched it on Facebook. I mean, on YouTube. It was fascinating because Robert Vaughn was a left-wing political advocate. I never knew that. I just loved him on Man from Uncle. And I'm watching that going, oh God, he's one of the early actors who tried to get activists, but I never knew that. And Vaughn was thanks, Hungry Boy. I got to work on that one. But I had to work. I didn't know. Yeah, the Gore Vidal thing. There's a
Gore
documentary.
Vidal,
There's a documentary on Facebook. I keep saying what am I saying? Facebook, Netflix. It might still be there called Best Enemies or whatever. That talks about the 1968 presidential campaign and the war between William F. Buckley and Gore Vidal on ABC when they're all their debates. And man, you talk about classic brutal stuff.
Well, some people to debate whether or not Vidal won, but
he didn't. They hated. Yeah. They truly hated each other, and it was ideological. But still, Buckley always had people of all over of every other opinion. And I grew up where both sides got to speak to each other and were willing to speak to each other. And that's why you take a guy like Seth MacFarlane and a guy like Rush Limbaugh. MacFarlane, back in the 90s and in the early aughts, he got Limbaugh on to do voices on Family Guy. He did a whole episode about Rush. Yep. And they don't agree on anything. And they were friends. Rush at least said, and I think MacFarlane said, they were friendly with each other. And
yeah.
Where we get away from that? We're not supposed to be doing a political show here tonight. I don't mean political.
Yeah, we're just talking about.
But yeah, I mean,
roundabout.
I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about having a discourse,
listening to people,
and getting along with people that you don't agree with all the time.
Yeah, not politics directly, but yeah. If you, as an aside, I had a picture of William F. Buckley on my college dorm room next to Reagan, and he's signing an autograph for me, and that's why it's funny what. He's the reporter saying who the F is William F. Buckley.
I think
I would, but even if he's not, that's okay. I mean, but he's more of an obscure character person now. But now he's been passed away for a while. But people would ask who it is. I'm like, well, if you don't know who it is, you won't care, basically. Because it's. He
hey,
came
Bob.
To hey, Dave Bob. He came to our college one time, and people were trying to stump him. I mean, he was a fantastic debater, but he was in a nice way. He would stab you in the back nicely, but just
it was brutal.
brilliant debater. So I got to meet him a few times, but
That's amazing.
Just his. Actually, got my autograph that he signed.
Bikini Draws, what's up, dude? I'd like to see
Bikini.
that. No, Zach says my favorite lefty is Jon Stewart. At least he believes in what he's saying. You know what? Jon Stewart says a lot of dumb shite, but Jon Stewart will talk to people on the other side of the aisle.
Yeah.
Jon Stewart will have a discourse. Just like a kid, Bill Maher says all kind of horrible crap. Bill Maher can be a complete moron. Bill Maher will talk to people. He'll talk to everybody. And if that's all I can think you're full of shit. And if you'll talk to everybody, that's if you're willing to coexist and talk to other people and talk to the other side, that cuts a lot. That carries a lot of weight with me personally.
Yeah, Politically Incorrect used to be a great show in the '90s when
it was way better than what he's got now.
Yeah, it was. Everyone was on there, and they'd had.
That was way better back then.
Of course, I found out years later he was. Ann Coulter was on there a lot because they were dating, but
I know that really used to freak me out, dude. But hey, no counting for taste there.
But it was a good show.
Trevor Noah's garbage. And the one I hate the most is Colbert. I never could stand that sack of crap.
Even though he likes Captain America, but
he might have some good taste in comics, but other than he's an absolute. I think he likes Star Wars, but he's still an idiot. I mean, he's crap.
We didn't have political shows too, other than the weekend shows. There was actually when after the Iranian hostage crisis, that Nightline was founded with Ted Koppel, but that was really a show to deal with the hostage crisis when the Iranians took over.
I remember that. Boy, I remember those that time.
But really, you didn't have this kind of back and forth, and in some ways, it's great to have all this communication. But other ways, I think. Social media and things, and just talking about shows, and people get nasty or take it personal. Like if I said, if someone told me they like Star Trek Picard, I got some friends who like Discovery, and I'm like, I'm not going to defriend the person. I'll just tell them, I really don't like that, or but that's if you like it, or certain shows I like, people think are I'm crazy, but if you enjoy it, enjoy it. But I think what happens is you've got this keyboard warrior mentality where it's, something you'd never say to someone's face. Like I'd say, I think that show sucks, but you want to insult the person, or, and just people get nasty. And I think that's that's kind of happened in politics too, where you have people disagree on something instead of just talking about what you don't like. Or I'll talk about, that red letter media takedown of Picard season 1. We talk about it. It's pretty tough to argue with but it's all great points about the show. Not it's not nitpicking stuff, or it's it's factual.
Not, because they're not like me. They don't have the bias I have against filthy fake Trek. But Bob says, I hope everyone in New Orleans is safe. Well, I'm thankful. Your youngest son. I'm glad your son is safe there, Dave. My daughter, who lived pretty close to the destruction as well, is okay, fortunately. But she lived fairly close to the destruction in Araby, which is outside of New Orleans. But Araby, a chunk of Araby got flattened, and there were some deaths, and it was horrible with the tornadoes yesterday. Dave, Bob. So I don't know if I'm glad your son is okay. Apparently, he must live near or close to there. I'm glad he's good.
Glad to hear
Pat
that.
S, did you do okay, by the way? Because you guys, it missed us, but I know you guys. I don't know exactly where you are, Pat, but I know you heard about Araby today, which is just terrible. So let us know how you
Very
did.
sad. I think Pat S was okay. I don't want to speak for him, but I think he said he was okay in another chat. But yeah, it's very sad. Yep. The He-Man show, JT Kirk's in the He-Man show. I started watching it until Adam. No, spoiler alert. He-Man Adam dies, and then Teela's on, and she's complaining that Adam had this dual identity. It's like the guy just died and gave up his life, basically trying to save you and Eternia, and she's bitching and moaning. It's all about me, her. And I'm watching. It's like, really, who wrote this? I mean, this is so bad. I turned it off and never watched a minute of it after that again. So,
Max, a Jody fan? That can't be easy for you, but at least you're able to. There you go. Luckily, they're able to talk about it. See, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, it would be. Look, I got to admit to you, folks, it's not like if I met somebody that I don't know, and they like STD or they like Jody Doctor Who or they like some filth that I hate, I'm going to tone it down quite a bit, and just tell them why I don't like it. But they're like, for example, but if just a year or two ago, for example, a couple of friends or like people that I know, again, they're just more like they're geeks, but they're not into Star Trek. As this very younger guy was, they were talking about how they like disc ovaries, STD. And because he's somebody I know, I went off on him in a joking way. I teased him and messed with him. I go, I read him the riot act, but in a because he's a friend, it was tongue in cheek because it's still just a TV show when you just get to the end of the day there. But yeah, it's as long as you can talk about it. I mean, how you can like Jody, I don't get it, but hey, at least they're in a minority. They're in a tiny minority. There aren't many people that do, so at least she's got some company there. I mean, JT Kirk says these new fake Trek shows, He-Man, Star Wars, Doctor Who, cares, etc. Nowadays, instead of Doctor Who cares, instead of trying to make merch and toys directly to their fans, they try and market virtue to Twitter. That is true. He says, who in the hell is looking forward to printing off their tweets and looking at those in 50 years about how they own someone on Twitter? Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Pleasant Valley Picker. Hello there.
Hey, Pleasant Valley.
Yeah, Louise, I'm with you. Oh, they get a rant from me, all right. But if it's somebody I don't know, I'm just meeting them. I want to be as friendly as I can. Let them when I'm telling them what I honestly think. I'm sure I'm doing it with a smile because I'm a big guy, so I'm intimidating. They probably, I want them to know that I'm just doing it with a smile, and I'm letting them know this is I'll tell them as calmly as I possibly can. Which, granted, with the filth, it's not easy, but I'll do it. Because again, they don't know me, but if someone knows me, they're gonna get it. Now again, still as a friend, but they're gonna get it. I mean, both barrels. I mean, they're gonna get. Yeah, it's going right up. Right up the backside. The tornado hit about 6 blocks away from me. Oh, dude, it went across the river. It hit Araby. Yeah, I heard about Araby. I was a teacher in Araby for 8 years. Good people. We're safe. We're safe. Thank you, buddy. I'm glad, man.
Glad to hear that. Yep. Yeah, tornado got scary stuff.
I mean, we were yesterday. A lot of my area was shut down because we didn't know where they were going to go. They hit Texas pretty bad the day before, and so and that's just different from hurricanes. You got a long time to prepare. Tornadoes, you don't know what, where, when. I mean, you just don't know.
You guys don't have basements though. There too. Do you have like
no basements?
So what do you do? That some places have like I know a friend who lives out. That way, and they have like a couple of them have like a shelter that's underground they can go to.
Some do, but there's not a whole lot of underground going on around here because New Orleans is below sea level. I'm not in New Orleans, but New Orleans is below sea level. So. Yes, let's. If things get worse, Clobby's going to give us this Blackadder season. I love Blackadder 3. Blackadder, I love Blackadder. Boldrick, I've got a plan so smart you can put a tail on it and call it a weasel. Oliver Belavante says, the one who's responsible for Netflix He-Man Revelations infamy, Kevin Smith. I've never been a Kevin Smith fan, by the way, buddy. Kevin is no He-Man fan and fooled hardcore He-Man fans. Shame on. I'm with you on the same. I'm one of those few that never liked his whole stupid shtick and his. He used to be cool. To me, he was okay. Look, fine if you liked him. To me, he was never cool. Little stoner bro act of his. Never the way he talks.
I do love Chasing Amy, though.
I hate everything about. I'm the one guy that hates everything about Kevin Smith. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a hateful person in the sense that I hate him personally. I'm saying I don't like. I never bought into his shtick. I never liked his persona and his dude bro, pothead act. I never liked any of that kind of crap, and I never thought he was a good writer of comics. And I really didn't care about his movies. I saw Clerks. It was funny, I guess. And I didn't. Which one are you talking about?
Chasing Amy was good.
I never sat through it because it just didn't. I mean, I don't know.
I liked it, but yeah.
Well, I guess.
Yeah, but the joke about the things junk was a little bit too far. But I guess And was that Mallrats or Stanley was in that one?
I'm not sure. Oh yeah.
Mallrats.
Thing is, Clobby, I bet in another 50 years, TOS may still have fans that discuss the show. STD will be long forgotten. Just my opinion, and I concur, sir, very much.
Yep.
I concur, sir. He was Skater Bro. I said, let's see. He is kind of like Mrs. Buffy. Who is Mrs. Buffy? Who Kevin?
But you're talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer or a different?
Yeah, Dave Bob. I need a little bit more on that one. Who's kind of like? You saying Kevin is kind of like Kevin more like Mrs. Buffy? Oh, Mrs. Buffy. Yeah, I'm sorry. It took me a second. That idiot. What's his? Freddie Prinze Jr. Thank you. Oh God, yes, he is Mrs. Buffy. Good one. Took me a second there, David. Well done, Dave. He is like that, the little twerp. A lot like that. STV will rerun on Syfy, the Syphilis channel.
Oh God,
Max Redstone.
I mean, it hasn't been a good story yet. I mean, I haven't finished watching the third or fourth season. Fourth season. Been much more better. You know, there's a lot more. I've been trying to watch Blake 7 instead, but it just isn't tough to do. But
yeah, we know you don't.
It hasn't been like
don't like it. You don't have to like
there hasn't been one.
You don't have to pretend.
Story yet.
Give it time. Maybe season 17 will have a good story. You never know.
It's like, you know, one standout you could say.
They're
like even
do we get till they get it right?
TNG had those, you know, horrible first few seasons, but at least you got a few semi-mediocre episodes, and you had that
right
second to last episode of the first season.
We're still on a freaking roller coaster in season 6.
Yeah, but it is much better.
Well, yeah, but I don't know, man. It's inconsistent.
I agree, it's a roller coaster, but it's you like the characters by this point, and you're rooting for them, except for Counselor Troy, I guess, maybe in Wesley. But I mean, you know the gang, and they've settled into their roles, so
Canadian Spidey. Canadian Spidey's here.
Hey, Canadian Spider-Man.
No, I hear
Thanks for swinging in.
Max says, I liked Kevin Smith's early stuff. Well, you know, I'm the only one that ever could stand him, Max. I've never heard about anyone but my dumb self that just never liked him. So, you know, you're not alone. He says, like most people. And you're right, most people did. However, if I was fully honest about how I feel about him now, I would probably get your stream demonetized. But it would be worth it, buddy. It would be worth it. Oh, shite. Yeah, I don't know, man. Listen, Pleasant Valley says, I enjoy, good.
Well, as I say, it's a certain type of humor. You either like it or don't like it, you know. And I think when you grow up, you know, you go away from it. But, you know, he's definitely a talented guy in that genre.
I never thought he could write comics to save his ass.
But it gets. Didn't you like Green Arrow, Green Lantern Rebirth? No,
he didn't do Rebirth.
Didn't he do Rebirth? No. Who was that?
Johns did Rebirth. He did a Green Arrow series, but he didn't do the Rebirth.
Was it Green Arrow? Or, no,
he did a Green Arrow series, but no.
I thought he did something with Green Lantern, with bringing back Hal Jordan.
No, that was Jeff Johns that brought back Hal Jordan.
Jeff Johns?
For Rebirth, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, man.
But Smith did write a Green Arrow series. You are, man. You're getting worse than me. Plus,
I read the damn thing. I have it on my wall back there.
There you go. Trust me on this one. I enjoyed Buffy, says Pleasant Valley Picker, but thought it kind of jumped the shark a bit in season 7. I think it jumped at seasons. I love the show. I'm a big Buffy fan, but I haven't watched it in a while. But 7 was terrible. Oh, good Lord. Was still decent, but not. See, I hated all that. I hated season 7, man. I just made me crazy. 6 had its faults, but at least it had Dark Willow. When she went Dark Phoenix. I
haven't watched all of Buffy. I watched just a little bit of Buffy, so that's on my list to watch.
That probably makes me even less of a man, everyone, that I like Buffy. I don't know. It used to be pretty cool to like it. Now that everyone hates Sweden. But I was a big Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan. Hey, have a good night there, JD Lewis.
Take care, JD. Oh, he wrote Quiver. Yeah, it was Quiver. I'm missing. Yeah.
There you go. Well,
I read read them both, but yeah.
You reduced 2 steps. You were reduced 2 steps in rank. Return to your post.
And I have a signed copy of that damn issue too. Yeah. Right. You forget everything. Now.
Dear, oh dear. I don't think I've ever seen anything of Kevin Smith. They've never interested me. Same here, Louise. I just I think I watched Clerks because Claude made me or something, and it wasn't really my bag. I get people like it, but
I used to enjoy comic book. It was a comic shop man or comic book man.
Comic Book Man, I watched
Yeah,
that
his TV
a
show.
couple
I mean,
times.
I'm sure it was all setups and stuff like that. The Batmobile on one time, and just showing the people and showing the comics. It was fun stuff. It was harmless show, but I
Yeah,
like that like that gang there in the show in the
Buffy was a
store.
good show. You never watch Buffy?
A little bit of Buffy, but not religiously. It's one of those things that's I have it on the list to watch. But now I've got to
Yeah.
watch all 26 episodes of UFO by tomorrow night. So
Oh my God. Well, she's ahead of me, but yeah. I mean, which one of us got her set off on UFO? I
she
can't
found it
remember.
on her own. I think we're
It's
talking about
on
Raquel
YouTube. No,
watching.
I mentioned it. I think we were talking
You
about it,
mentioned it
and I've never, like I say, I'd watched it once or twice in the '80s. An
because I'm a
episode
big
here or
fan
there.
of the Thunderbirds. So I've always watched that, and there's actually a new series on Amazon, which I don't know, it's all right, but nothing like the original. And of course, the movie, my kids watch the live action movie over and over. It's when you've got
Of what?
5 to 7 year Thunderbirds.
Oh,
So they just
Thunderbirds. Well, yeah,
just the
the
live
live
action
action
movie.
movie with Johnny Fakes.
Yeah, they watch it over
He
and over.
directed that,
God,
you know.
yep, they. I've probably watched that movie like 50 times with the
Oh
kids.
wow, wasn't it? I
They
mean, it had
love
Bill
that movie.
Paxton, right?
Bill Paxton, yep.
A movie
It
with
was
Bill
pretty.
Paxton can't be all bad.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it is what it is.
All right,
But
Max, take it easy, bro. Thanks for the picture, man.
oh, is it okay if we share that picture out, Max?
Can we
Or
share that
put your name?
picture? I'm gonna show it again right now, but if we're allowed to share it, you can put it on social and share it yourself. It's
Because
your
people are
picture,
asking
buddy.
for it, or put your name on it, or
Yeah,
if you want,
but I
I'd love
mean,
to.
it's your pick, buddy. But listen, what do you say?
Well, yeah, just
It's
because
I'm all over to burn my copy of the Teenage Detective Manual. Of one of those autograph of Michael Akuda. I say keep it anyway, bud.
yeah, I don't
Use
do
it,
that,
credit
man.
me. There you go. You got it. Because everyone will love this. Yes, 40 decks of social justice awareness. Yeah. I love this thing. You did great, Max. You always do, though. Appreciate you, buddy.
Take care,
Um,
Max. Yep.
You were talking about that Thunderbirds movie. I mean, it didn't really do all that well, did it?
No, it
Wasn't
only.
big.
Let's see how much it made. I'm looking at it now. Budget
What,
57 million, made
what year was
28.
that? Jesus Christ. What year?
2004.
Okay.
Hans Zimmer did the
It was a
music.
dumb idea. They're supposed to be puppets.
Yeah, directed by Jonathan Frakes. Yeah, I guess maybe watching with my kids too. I mean, they're 5 years old at the time and 6.
Mm.
It's one of the. And then Ghostbusters are the movie they watched over and over and over again, and just after school every day they'd watch. He'd put Ghostbusters on their plane, so I got a few toys. I thought it was a pretty good movie. It was,
Thank you, Dave Bob. I'm smiling. You can't see it, but I'm smiling. And thank you so much, bro. You're too kind, buddy. $2 says just to see you smile. Well, you the man. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I am smiling. I've been having like a long ass day, and I have no idea how I'm even conscious right now. But man, I'm having fun hanging out with my buds, so I'm good. Thank you, man. But look,
yep.
Thunderbirds should be
the Fab
puppets.
car was so but the Fab car is so gorgeous that they did in the movie, and Spider-Man 2 was out at the same time. So, but
can I hear amen?
Yeah,
Somebody,
right.
You guys, everybody in the chat, should Thunderbirds not be puppets? Come on, that movie was wrong. I'm overblowing. I don't really care. I haven't barely watched it, but I'm just saying.
I know, yeah. I mean, yeah, but it's just they tried, so they could have had. They're hoping for, I'm sure, a whole series of movies, but it didn't work out. So
Then there was he did Captain Scarlet, Thunderbirds, Stingray. Yep, there we go. Everyone says yes, puppets.
no live action.
Marionettes, to be precise, right?
Yeah.
Now, what was the other one? There were a couple, right? They were all Jerry Anderson. This was the first thing he did.
Yeah.
UFO was the first live action show he did. I'm telling you, I mentioned it earlier. I don't know if you were here earlier. A couple things happened in a couple episodes that still are giving me the freak creeps
in
on
UFO.
UFO. One broke my heart. I'm like, oh God, I can't believe you guys did that. Can't believe you guys. And then they did another one. And again, you'd think, okay, something scary or nothing spooky. I mean, the show has a spooky element to it. It has a James Bond feel, a spooky element, has all those funky but really hot, girls in the costumes, and those crazy outfits. The hardware is really good. The only thing that looks kind of, I love the show. Don't get, hope
Yeah.
Raquel won't get mad at me. We'll talk about it more tomorrow night. But those UFOs look kind of supercar. There you go, hungry. Well done. Stingray, Fireball, X5. There you go, supercar. There.
And don't forget Space 1999.
But that was later. See what happened?
Later, yeah.
The more pop, the ratings were not bad, but they were always better for the ones that took place on the moon base. For UFO, the most popular bits of that show were the stuff on the moon base. Yeah. So that's why he kind of reworked it and later did Space 1999.
Yeah. It's kind of UFO. Yeah, it's basically.
It's the same universe, as far as I'm concerned, because UFO takes place in the far-flung future of 1980.
Yeah.
The future. Pleasant says, Clobberin, I was trying to be kind. I actually agree. Season 7 of Buffy was weak overall, in spite of some good episodes. The potential slayers annoyed. That's what I hated. I hated the potential slayers. It made me sick. Buffy as Mother Hen. Yeah, I really hated that. I hated a lot of stuff in that season, to be honest with you. Well, the best puppets are Team America. Yeah, there's no question about that. Dave Bob, I mean, it's not even a contest, but, Did you ever watch any of those puppet shows, the marionette shows?
Oh, I did. I mean, yeah, I watched, a bunch of them as a kid. So, and of course, Thunderbirds I love. So, and then you just, whatever's on TV, you're watching. But I always loved, for some reason, just love Thunderbirds. So it's, and then there was the Captain Scarlet. Yeah, it was the other one. And I think they were on if I'm remembering right, it was on PBS, I think, back in the day.
Yeah. There's a parody you guys all got to go find if you get a cut out of those puppet shows, the marionette shows. There was Peter Cook and Dudley Moore had a comedy show they did. It was a black and white comedy show they did back in the 60s, early 70s and 60s, I think, together. And they did a parody of those shows, and they called it Super Thunder Steam Car Is Went. Because it used to be like Thunderbirds Are Go.
Yep.
Thunderbirds Are Go was the saying, so it was Super Thunder Steam Car Is Went. And they made themselves up to look like puppets, and they started talking about like the puppets and moving around in their faces. They were bobbing up and down. Their mouths were barely moving. It was people make up to look like the marionettes. It was Dudley Cook. I mean, Dudley Moore and Peter Cook, the team. It was hilarious. Oh, you saw that, Hungry Boy? That's on TV. That's on Blue. I'm an idiot. That's on YouTube. Super Thunder Steam Car Is Went. It's great. I think it's in black and white for some reason.
And plus, as a kid, I mean, Hungry Boy was saying, yeah, I also still love him as an adult, but as a kid, you'd want to go into space. Or I read books. I'd love reading science fiction. And one of I can't remember which one, but there was a series about a kid, bunch of kids making a spaceship, and it had to have been Gary Anderson or Jerry Anderson, and you're. The kids basically put together junk, and then they end up flying the spaceship. I can't remember what the name of the show was, or if it was a movie. It was all marionettes. There's just something so charming about it, and just you just loved it. It's that fantasy element, and you almost forget that they're puppets after a while when you're watching. When you get into it.
Convention dance. I know what Joe 90 is. Joe 90 wasn't it a marionette show? I know there was a magazine called Joe 90 that had a bunch of about Jerry Anderson stuff.
Yeah, that was. I'm just reading the summary of it. Yeah, it was a schoolboy, Joe 90. He becomes a spy after his father invents
the show, Joe 90. Yeah,
yeah, recording expert knowledge and transferring to another human brain. So it's really high concept science fiction stuff too. Wow. So it's. I mean, a lot of fans out there of those types of shows, and there's good sci-fi stories. So It's really really fun. And then, of course, I loved all the cars and the machines and the cool tanks and whatever. As an engineering nerd or geek, just love that stuff. So they just had like jet cars and really cool stuff and things
Right.
they could do with you couldn't do back then before before CGI would cost a fortune, and just love seeing those props and just really really cool.
Pat S. That show was Far Out Space Nuts with Bob Denver and Chuck McCann. Remember that? Far Out Space Nuts.
Don't remember that one. No.
Really?
No.
Trevor Cunningham. I love Salvage One. I wish they would
Oh
put.
yeah.
They've got the movie ones on DVD. I wish they would put all of them out. Salvage
That's a
One was a
fun
cool show.
Yeah.
You don't remember the Far Out Space Nuts?
Don't remember that. No.
Let's take a look. Yep. There we go. You put Far Out. There's the Space Nuts. Bob Denver and Chuck McCann.
Let me Google it.
I got it. I'm pulling it up right now. There we go. Far Out Space Nuts. I used to watch this.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, no, I watched that. I just forgot the damn name of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on Saturday morning.
I got a weird one. I mean, I got one that you got to be so old to
What
know
was the
this
name
show.
of the creature on that show?
Oh, hell, I can't remember. You?
Oh, got it.
Bob and Chuck McCann. You know what Chuck McCann did, right? Well, he did a children's show, but you know what Chuck McCann has to do with both you and me?
What?
It's Clobberin time. He does the voice of the thing on the 90s
Oh, nice.
FF cartoon. The guy right there with Bob Denver.
Oh, it was a Honk. Honk was the name.
Honk.
Honk, 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 honk. Yeah,
Dave Bob, yeah.
Show.
Salvage One was great. Bob,
Yeah.
Andy Griffith, I mean. Salvage One. That was a neat show, man. We're going to build a spaceship to go to the moon and take all the trash out and pick up all the space junk on the moon, basically.
He was our Elon Musk.
He was.
Well, hey, right? A guy building. You got people building spaceships now, right? He was Mr. Fantastic, right?
Maynard G. Krebs. Yep. Just don't ask me about Dusty's Trail. You know about Dusty's Trail? How about the show It's About Time? That's another one, weird one.
Don't
It's
remember
about
that
time. It's about space. It's too old. It was a very obscure show about time travel. Tonight, folks, on Clobberin Time specials, unbelievably obscure TV shows, I'm about to show you the most obscure goddamn TV show. So obscure, even I haven't seen it, but I know about it. You know how stuff there's plenty of stuff you just know about it, but you didn't see it. You just hear about it,
Yeah.
read about it. I'm like that with a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff I've had people tell me about, or I've read about in different places, and I know things about it by osmosis, I suppose, but I never saw it myself or whatever.
Well,
Hey, Bob, it's about time, huh? It's about time. It's about space.
Oh, Mr. Angel's going to exercise, work off some of those calories from the good food that he cooks. So take care, Mr. Angel.
Take care, man. Good to see you.
The like I remember this is an obscure thing, but like Knight Rider before it came out, I remember watching a commercial that said how much better they were than the General Lee, and it could go faster and jump higher and all this stuff. And I kept looking for the commercial, and then Raymond actually had on a show one of the guys who has a website on the on Knight Rider, and they actually found somehow. Long story short, they found this commercial. I'm like, I knew I saw that 40 years ago, and they actually found it like on a demo tape that someone had given them a box of like Knight Rider stuff from the production company. So it's like sometimes you're like, I know I saw that, and people were debating like it didn't exist. And they actually found the commercial, so. It's fun stuff the way your mind works. I remember seeing that.
Do you remember? You ever heard of a TV show called? Good night, Steve Mitchell. Have a good one, bud.
Take care, Steve.
Called The Second 100 Years.
No.
Well, this thing it was only lasted like a couple of episodes.
It didn't last
It had
100 years.
no, it didn't. He was like this guy was a caveman brought back to life. I mean, he was like frozen or something.
Is that
It
Charles
was
Grodin there?
and it was a sitcom. No,
Kind of
not
like
a.
a
It was like a.
precursor to the
He was not
caveman.
a caveman, not a caveman, but he was like a man who was frozen taken out of time, frozen from another time.
Okay.
If I remember right, I've never even seen it. Monty
Just
Markham was on
remembered.
it. Yeah, I only remember because MSC3K they were making TV's Frank was talking about it, and Monty Markham, the guy who plays the $7 million man on the $6 million man episode, that was all
Yep.
the kids' favorite. That was all the kids' favorite episode because it had the $7 million man fighting the $6 million man. You know what I mean?
Better than fighting Sasquatch or
Oh yeah, it was fighting another bionic dude. Shit, man.
yeah.
And this stupid show here, it's about time. It was about time travel, a bunch of time travelers who went back to caveman days, astronauts.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that would go well, right? Yeah, I'm sure going back to times like that, they would greet you with open arms, then club you over the top of the head. Yeah.
Yep, that's just what cavemen were like back then. I know what someone remembers this show. Dave, Bob, you got to be old enough to remember this one. I'm not saying you're old or anything, dude. Can you? It's about time. It's about space. I can't remember the whole song.
I prefer Planet of the Apes or my time traveling astronauts.
Well, yeah, yeah, but this is and it's which man. I wish I could get a Blu-ray of this.
Did they come up with a Blu-ray of that one or no? Probably not, right?
No, yeah,
Let's check.
yep. No, it's on. It's on a Blu-ray. Just
Oh,
not
it is on
region
Blu-ray. Okay.
one.
It's in.
I love this.
We got to
The
go across the
Interceptors.
pond.
I love these
No, the
interceptors.
ships are cool.
You know
Those are really cool.
You know, yep. TV's Frank talked about it. No, all right. All right. So far, interceptor pilots in the 11 episodes I've seen have been played by the bad guy from Beverly Hills Cop 1. He's been in a couple of them as an interceptor pilot. Alexis Canner, a guy known from The Prisoner, a couple episodes of The Prisoner. They've had a lot of prisoner episodes and prisoner actors. They've had oh, Louise Sparrow just bought UFO. Oh, cool. See,
Nice.
you must live where you have a region 2, because it's not on region 1. Louise, the show's not available over here to us unless we buy a region 2 player.
Well, they said it came out in 2002 as Region 1, but that's a long time ago now.
Really?
Yep. 2002, though. Yeah.
Are you sure? A buddy of mine would have had those.
I always trust Wikipedia. But it was 2002 though. So who knows if it's still in print? But
maybe that's the set he got then. And they've had.
But I'm not seeing a Blu-ray yet.
I'm seeing a Blu-ray right here.
Let's see.
Look.
Oh, nice.
Complete series, but it's region 2. It's ridiculous.
I don't think Blu-rays have
stupid.
a region though. I think
sure?
Blu-rays are region free now. I could be wrong, but
What?
I think I'm right.
Price
Damn
is
it!
crazy. Then you might be right now.
Let me check the Amazons. At least it's definitely easier to get than Blake 7. Well, like you said, someone had mentioned before, it's on Amazon
Expensive.
Prime. $44 to buy the season. Let's see, it's SD, so it's not HD. I don't know if this film was filmed in film or if it was video. But it's old enough; it's probably on film.
Jill, are you saying Amazon UFO's free? I can't. Maybe it's not on my Amazon. My Amazon says you can't get it on. It's not on BritBox. Free on Amazon on IMDb. That's weird. When I checked this, I couldn't get it.
let's see, complete series, UFO series 1 and 2, but there's only one series.
There's only one. Well, no, well they got it mixed. I think they have it chopped up as two.
Okay, yep. Yeah, this is region 2 one though, yep. I mean, if you have the technology, it's not so tough to get around that today. Yeah, complete series Blu-ray, $50. Let's see, 6 discs. This will not play on most Blu-ray players sold in North America. Learn about Blu-ray specifications. Yep. I mean, there's ways around it, but it's on Blu-ray now. Yep.
You know, this guy was not only on UFO, Ed Bishop. He was in a couple of Bond films uncredited. He was in 2001: A Space Odyssey. And he did a voice on Star Trek: The Animated Series. So he's been connected. Journeyman, that's one Mark liked.
I love Journeyman. Oh, it's a great show. That was a great show.
Eric sending us a link. Sending me a link. Let's see.
I was actually talking. One of my acquaintances was in media actually. I was talking about Journeyman. Like he was working for NBC. I'm like, why did you cancel Journeyman? I was like, well, I just didn't have the ratings, to be frank. But I love that first episode. Even if you just watch that first episode of Journeyman, where he, well, no one's gonna watch it, but minor spoiler. But his wife thinks he's going crazy, so he takes his engagement ring and I think her engagement ring, and buries it under their patio where they're gonna move in like 15 years. So he digs it up and he shows it. So they have duplicate copies of their rings. So it's just really cool. So it's just a really great scene, a great reveal. And I usually don't like time travel, but that was a really well done version of time travel.
Eric said you can watch. He sent me the IMDb link. Well, that's cool. Eric, I've been watching it on YouTube. They're all on YouTube right now. UFO.
How's the quality?
Fine.
It's fine, right? Yep.
Yeah, it's real good. Pat has.
But Jill, there's only one season of UFO. There's 26 episodes. But maybe there was a writer's strike or something, if I'm remembering correctly. So I think they were released, far apart.
I don't know why the DVDs say 2 seasons, Jill. It's one, really. It's 26 episodes. And so far, they're all on YouTube. And they've come up right. A&E has them on there for some reason.
Yeah, they've got all 26. It's showing them as maybe because I have Amazon Prime. It's showing me free to play. Maybe if you're Amazon Prime. So it's saying I can buy it for $0. Let's see.
But when I go to my Amazon Prime on my TV in my living room on my Blu-ray player that allows me to watch Amazon Prime and BritBox.
Yep.
I searched up UFO and it's not on there. I'm told it's on BritBox. J-Man said it's on BritBox up there.
Let me check. Oh, because I had a $2 credit. That's why it was showing me $0. It's my $2 credit to buy it. Yep.
I say the only thing that looks kind of funky is the UFO itself. These weird, little silly flying saucer thing. Everything else looks damn cool. Because and I don't mind that. I'm just saying.
Yep.
I don't care about that kind of stuff. I watch Doctor Who for God's sake. So, I'm just saying. But what I love, boy, is the ladies. Woo! Yes, sir. Oh my goodness, man.
Check out those UFOs.
Yada yada.
Yep.
Dave Bob is naming TV shows to watch. Cool. Yeah. Seen some of them, not all of them though. And that's what you got. That's what you got to do. I like watching the old stuff. I mean, I have Amazon Prime, and they don't have any ads when I watch stuff on there. They got like 7 on there on BritBox now, and they got all the classic Doctor Who.
Let me check my good old BritBox there. Let's see. Let's search for UFO. We're sorry. We cannot find any UFOs. They do not exist.
So
Not in BrickBox US. It's surprised
not
it's not on
BritBox
there.
US for sure.
Yeah, maybe they'll add it eventually, but and BritBox is a great service. Yeah, it's
I like the
pretty cool.
Interceptor. I like the Skydiver. Skydiver's cool. The sub.
Well, if you go to, I think it's six. Is it 1612? Is it 1612.com? We've showed that before. Let me. That's where they have all the Space 1999 toys, and we were showing that in the clubhouse, I think, too. And I think they have here UFO die-cast collection. Here you go.
Carry
So
Woo! Go ahead. Let me get this off here.
Oh yeah, the sliders.
Go ahead.
Here's the link to. Just saying, yeah. And what was the spider movie that she was in?
I thought you were about to share something.
Well, yeah, if you
Eight-legged freaks.
Eight-legged freaks. Thank you. Yep. Well, here I can share it. Yep. Let me.
Carry War.
I actually own her album that she came out with too.
She had an album.
Yeah, of course. Come on, what kind of fan are you? You didn't buy her album?
I failed
pretty
as a
good
stalker.
voice. Failed as a stalker.
What we
She
got
actually had a couple of hits, I think, too. Yep.
What that is.
So here you go.
Wow.
Here's all the 1612. So you can get your Eagles here and all your great British TV shows, but I've got the Shadow Control Mobile. It's such a great vehicle.
Yep, that reminds me. Not exactly like it, but I love the Chariot from Lost in Space.
Yeah, it's same kind of idea.
I have I have the Johnny Lightning Chariot. Johnny Lightning, man, when they did Jupiter 2 and the Chariot and the robot, I got them all. Tiny, but yeah, that's cool there. I love that thing. That's beautiful.
As a kid, you just pretend, you're in the truck and you.
This show looks like the Thunderbirds and all that other stuff with people instead of puppets, but the stories, no. They're adult and scary and messed up. And great science fiction.
Let's see if they have any other. I thought they had the Interceptor here.
The Interceptor has to fire that front missile and have to go back and get a new one every time.
Yeah, Shadow Interceptor with launch crater display. How cool is that?
Nice.
Sold out. Yep.
I love
2,000
Eagles.
units. Yep.
I love Eagles, but they should have had interceptors for the fighters.
Yeah, these are cool. Yep.
Fighters
well, they did have
versions
of Eagles that were quote unquote fighter jets, but they look just like the Eagle anyway. So.
Yep.
Well, there you go.
Interceptor's badass. That almost looks like. I mean, not too far from Galactica, kind of ripping that off a little bit.
Yeah, you've got the longer type.
That's almost similar to a Colonial Viper. I love the Colonial Viper. That ship's fantastic. I love it, man. I still love the Colonial Viper, I guess, because I'm more used to it. That is great. Of course, that front thing comes up. That's a missile.
That's what she said. Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've lost Mark. I don't know where he is.
It's after midnight here, right? We're doing late night.
Right? And for that, I'm going to eat me an M&M. Yeah, that's badass. So
that'd be cool to have. Yep.
All right, Dave Bob. You weren't here earlier. We were talking about the Invaders. Did you ever watch the Invaders? Go ahead.
No. As I said, just this website just got great, great stuff. So like Space 1999 and any of these obscure things. I think there's a Jerry Anderson retro collection, with the Eagles, and R&B has a couple of these massive toys in his background.
JT Kirk, the first one, original one for me, hands down, the original Colonial Viper. It's not even close. What he has this one?
I don't know if he's got this one, but I know he's got a bunch of these Eagles.
That's different colors too. Huh? That's cool.
Yeah, Retro's color 1612, all new tooling. Yep, this is 125 pounds. So Ain't cheap.
At least they did toys, and this is still no decent Blake Savage toys.
Nope.
He's watching. Yeah, I knew you'd. I knew you'd watched Invaders, Dave. I'm thinking about trying to. I've been a long time since I've watched that, and I'm thinking about Raquel. I don't know if you heard earlier. Like Raquel loves. She's in love with UFO. She's totally in love with it. So I'm thinking she might love Invaders.
She better stop watching that and watch the Star Trek for this week. Raquel, if you're out there. Sorry, no Star Trek show this week.
That's a bummer
Watching
for her.
too much UFO. Yep.
Isn't it weird seeing an eagle with those colors?
Yeah. Very weird. Yep.
What? It was never like that on the show, was it?
I guess colorway inspired by the classic Jerry Anderson toys of the 70s. I guess it's like a fun, just a different color edition, for fun, I guess. But yeah, and they've got studio scale masterpiece collection. These are the huge ones they had that were massive in size. Yeah,
that's right, Jill. Raquel will do her homework.
Yep. So this was the one I wish I could get. 44-inch, only 3,000 pounds. Studio scale, so it's the scale of the model that they used to film the show. So how cool is that?
Yeah, oh, that's amazing. I'm with you there, buddy. You hungry boy. Dark Skies. First time I saw it. I do remember Dark Skies. I didn't watch it much. I don't think.
I watched that. Yeah.
But I think I watched it. I do definitely remember that Jerry Ryan was on there. Yes, sir.
Was she on just one episode, or
I don't know. Wasn't she No, wasn't she not? Was she not a regular on there?
Was
Dave?
she a regular on that?
I thought so. Maybe I'm wrong.
That's the one with Noah Wiley, Dark Skies, right? And they invade Earth. Is that the dark?
No. Wasn't it an NBC show? She was a regular. First time we saw Jerry Ryan, so that was before. That was before Voyager, obviously.
What was the show with Noah Wiley then, with the alien invasion?
I know what you're talking about.
What the heck was the name of that one? And Eric K says, "When are you getting that? How are you going to hide that?" Yeah, NBC. If I get the.
Yeah, good question. Whoops.
You got extra room at your house, Eric? Yeah.
Eric, you think
Maureen, look, it's an investment. It's only it only costs $6,000 to get to the States. Yeah.
Oh shit! It was NBC. I just don't remember exactly when. And that Noah Wiley show, I know what you're talking about, but that was years later.
Well, this is more of the alien abduction kind of show, right? Dark Skies. Yep.
Falling Skies.
Falling Skies. Thank you, Pettis. You saved me. Yeah.
Not the dark ones, the falling ones. Thank you, Pat.
There was a sky in there, though, right?
You got close.
I'm still suffering jet lag. That's my excuse. I'm going with it. Yep.
You got close. Was close enough.
Close enough. Yeah.
I mentioned it before, but did anybody ever watch The Pretender?
I watched a little bit of that. Yep.
I love The Pretender. I watched all of it. Dave, you watch The Pretender? I love that show. It was so much fun watching him, go after all these. He would find. It was predictable. Yes, it was a formula as well, but he would find somebody and he would put. He remembers it. There you go. He would put them. He would put them the same medicines they did to somebody else, some innocent. Eric K with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate you. It says Mark D with a C said Battlefield Earth is the best. Well,
big fan of Barry. What was his name? Barry. Yeah.
Barry Pepper.
Barry Pepper was on, yeah, and Travolta, yeah.
Those are some serious charges that you, Eric. Thank you, buddy, for that. By the way,
I give it a 3 out of 10. Yeah. Well, actually, when I watched it, I expected it to be worse, like Mystery Science Theater. When you hear something that's so horrible, I'm like, I've seen worse, so it was bad, but I've actually thought it wasn't as bad as I was expecting. It was almost, but you had fun watching it because it was so silly. But
You slimy, no good, two-timing swindler.
of course, when you've seen something like The Last Jedi, that's entirely different. Where it's it gets you angry, like it's bad angry versus like, yeah, this is silly, funny kind of reaction to a movie.
Yep.
So,
The Cape. The Cape. That sounds familiar.
oh, that was that NBC show that lasted like 15 episodes. So the guy was a cop, and then
Yeah.
for some reason, he was on the run, and he ended up with a circus, and the guy taught him how to manipulate a cape and to fight crime with a cape.
Mm-hmm.
It was just it was so bad. He'd come to visit his son like in the middle of the night.
I never watched it, but I heard about it.
It was bad.
Did it last that long?
Bad. I watched every episode, but 12 episodes or 50. It was amazingly bad.
Wow. Dude, flying sub.
Oh, I love the flying sub, yeah.
I'll tell you my flying sub story. Damn.
Only $120 for the model now.
Wow. You know how many we had there? How many we found at that warehouse that we raided? And it was 1982. 82, 83-ish. Somewhere. It was a toy warehouse. I've told you this before, but for those who hadn't heard this, I was running a comic shop. Sorry, Eric. But I didn't own this one, Eric, because that's got to count for something. I was just running this for somebody. And the guy with a big toy warehouse in Baton Rouge called us in because he wanted to get rid of a bunch of his toys. We found some old stuff here and there, but for some reason we must have found 50 flying subs, model kit, AMT model kit, Aurora or AMT, whichever it was. Same deal, kind of. Automan was pretty bad. 6 episodes. The only thing good about Automan was Robert Lansing. Desi Arnaz Jr. should never have been allowed to be on acting in that chunk of cheese that plays Automan. That guy wasn't a good actor. It was trying to cash in on Tron. It was silly, stupid. I was so disappointed when that show came out. I recorded every episode, all 6 of them. And I just watched it and go, this is really stupid. What, I don't get any slack for not owning the shop? Eric? Wow, not even taking into consideration that I even said that I didn't own that one. Damn, you can't win with some people. But man, we had so many flying subs. No one gave a shit. I wanted to see View, but of course,
Yeah, no one cared. Everybody got so many.
It was the sub. I liked the flying sub, but everyone wanted to see View. We could they didn't have any of those. So I guess that when that model had come out, they produced a bunch of them and they couldn't sell it. My guess is kids were buying the Sea View.
Yeah, who wants to fly? Well, I mean, I would have liked the flying sub, but yeah.
I liked flying one. Holy shit.
Cool, you have both.
Don't show me these.
Enabling. And it's in Britain.
No, I'm not able, so you didn't enable shit. You just feel like crap.
That looks pretty damn good.
Oh, my God. Did you see that 8-foot tall Superman that Gary has in his house now?
No.
He can't put it in his room. Gary of the Great, hail the great Gary the Great Nerdrotic, by the way. Gary of Nerdrotic.
It won't fit because the ceiling's too.
Yeah, I think he says like 6. I don't know how tall it is. I think he's about 8 foot tall because he's doing a flying thing with his arms stretched up. And it's a big Superman. So it's beautiful. It's great, and he can't put it in his room in his office. And he has it downstairs in the TV room or whatever. This is fantastic beyond belief.
Sideshow.
They
must be just reselling it in England, I guess. But yeah, that's 20 inches. Yeah,
must be nice.
I'm sure Az and Gary have this one on order, or if this is out yet, I don't know. But looks pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yep.
In stock Q3 222.
Toys for rich folk, rich dudes.
Yep. Now these people with all these toys. My niece came into my office today, and she's like, "Uncle Mark, you got even more stuff." She hasn't seen the Enterprise up. She's looking around. Like,
wow, look at Flash. Ming looks great.
That's supposed to be another sideshow, I'm guessing.
I'm sure.
Savor
them are hot toys. What's the difference, really? Them hot toys.
Yeah. Ming the Merciless.
Mm-hmm. That's to me. Wow.
12 inches. Yep. Pretty cool. Yeah. And of course, we got Catwoman.
Oh yeah, dark shadows for sure there, Dave. Oh my. Oh my. Yeah. Nice.
That's quite a costume.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, folks, I guess what? I guess we could just go ahead and start wrapping it up here. We've been here keeping you guys taking up your time, your valuable time way too long, I think. On another
We'll do some work now.
Wednesday night there. Tomorrow night, we'll be back here, and we'll be back here with our wonderful first officer. So it won't be just my boring ass. With only Mark to save me from being even more boring as he has done.
My boring ass, yeah. We got Raquel to save us both.
No,
yeah.
I was trying to pump you up saying you saved us from being. You saved the show from the boredom it was till you got here. Then you know.
No, never boring, never boring.
You may, yeah, but anyway, thank you all so much for being here with us tonight. For the show notes, of course, I got my spinner rack. I wasn't here. I was working so much I wasn't here for my debut of my spinner rack video today. Thank you all for anyone who hung out or showed up. I appreciate it. So let's see here. Tomorrow night, Clobby's Clubhouse will reconvene and we will talk about who knows. Well, we got a few things we'll be talking. We have some topics. Oops, somebody wanted to go back and see Flash Gordon.
Well, I just posted the website for you, Dave.
Okay.
So, yep. So that is Flash Gordon. Yep.
Thank you, Jill. You're too kind. I love you. You're very cool. And I love what you're doing with your reviews and stuff there, Jill. You keep that up now. I'm glad that we're not the only ones suffering through P hard that you were suffering right along with us. I'm not glad you're suffering, but it's not misery loves company. And so that'll be tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then Saturday night, Star Trek returns for 4 more episodes of Star Trek, the generation.
I just read that. I'm so tired. I read that title. Spin the Bottle.
Yes, tomorrow night we'll be reviewing Spin the Bottle. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us this evening. Appreciate you, of course, as the great anti-derivative Jill, our wonderful communications officer. Dave Bob, brother, thanks for being here, man. It's always a pleasure to see you. The great Eric K, brother, and thank you so much, man. Thanks for that. Thanks for the help and the super chat. Dave, thank you for being here tonight. Thanks to the Pleasant Valley Picker, the great Steve Mitchum, who was here. Let me see if I can remember everybody. The great Chris Persia was here. Zax, thank you for being here. Hungry Boy, thank you, buddy. Thank you so much, man. I think I said Steve Mitchum in Pleasant Valley. Let's see here. Who else was here? Badass brother, thank you for being here tonight. Oliver Belamonte, thank you for being here tonight. Phantom Outsider and D. Bud Martin. So thank you, great folks, the great D. Bud Martin and the great Phantom Outsider for being here tonight. I'm trying to remember everybody quickly. This one.
Yep.
JT Kirk, great to see you, man. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight, buddy. Always a pleasure. Trevor Cunningham, thank you for being here with us tonight. Matthew Pounder, my friend, thank you for hanging out with us this evening. We appreciate it. Louise X Sparrow, the lovely Louise, thank you so much, Louise, for being with us tonight. I really appreciate you hanging out with us and spending your night with us tonight. I like the Canadian Spider-Man popped in earlier. Spider-Man. Thank you, buddy, for being here tonight. Always great to see you there, buddy, and the great Rod Thunderheart as well popped in.
You say J-Man?
J-Man, indeed. Thanks. J-Man was here. A good buddy. J-Man was here for us. The Comics Relief Crusader was here. Thank you for being here tonight, bud. Appreciate you. Mr. Angel was here with us tonight. The great Mr. Angel, chef. Who else? Almost there. Max Redstone. What a contribution by the great Max Redstone, everybody. One more time, an encore for him. Appreciate you, dude. That is just one great work you did there. Thank you so much. Oh, to hell with P Hard. JD Lewis, buddy, thank you for being here. Just Joe Jobber was here earlier. Yeah, bro, appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here. I'm trying to remember. I think I got most people. If I missed anyone, I apologize. You know how my dumb memory is, but I went back and backtracked as far as I think almost as far as I could. Turo, a new friend. Turo popped in. Turo, thank you for being here tonight. We really appreciate you. It was great to meet you. McKinney Draws popped in earlier. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, that's right.
An excellent artist, McKinney. Thank you so much. It's good to see you, my friend. Thank you for popping in. Cast in the Shadows popped in earlier. Zax was here. And Zax, you Hulk villain. Good to see you, bud. And Nerdporeal Lifeform, our good friend, was here.
Yep.
Thank you, Nerdporeal. I think I don't know if you had to run out, but I think every time I think I got everybody, somebody else. I run across another one because I'm going backwards here, backtracking a little bit. This thing is good. At least lets you do that now. So
at least you can check to see who's here. Yep.
Yep. Pretty good. I think we pretty much handled it. I mean, I hope, again, you never know when you might miss somebody.
Well, I hope no one takes it personally. Yep.
No, don't take it personally. Just know I'm an old doddering old fool. Hey, look who popped in. You're Muslim Uncle. What's up, bro?
Hell, your Muslim uncle. Yep.
Good to see you there, buddy. Sorry it's on the way out. Sorry we're heading out on there. But your Muslim Uncle, good to see you, my friend. I hope you are doing well and you and your family are doing well. So thank you all again for hanging out with us tonight. And instead of just playing the normal credits, I'll simply play this out with with our lovely and our wonderful first officer's information where you can find her works of fiction. Of course, I will put the link in right now. And instead of playing the out credits, we'll just play that for you. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a fantastic rest of your night. And let's go.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Snail Messiah!